Yo, this is Queenzflip. I am here in Springfield, Mass. And I'm gonna talk to my man, Anthony Arillotta, right?
Right.
What's up, man?
How you doing, Flip?
What's up, baby? How you doing? You get pounds? What's up? Handshakes, man?
Yeah,
How you doing? How's everything, brother?
Good. Everything is good.
Yeah, I heard a lot about you.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard a lot about you.
I heard your show too.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely want to get into a lot of things and just tell me where we at, man. You know.
So right now,
And it's cold out here.
It's freezing.
Yeah.
You picked the coldest day.
Yeah. Where are we?
So we're in downtown Springfield.
Okay.
Springfield, Mass, Western Mass. It's
Okay.
about an hour from Boston, Mass.
Okay.
20 minutes from Hartford, Connecticut. If you're going fast, you get to New York in city in 2 hours.
Yeah.
But traffic or whatever.
Yeah.
But so this is the downtown Springfield. This is where I was telling you earlier, when the mafia was powerful, existed here. These streets right here, it was so packed with restaurants and bars, and you couldn't walk. There was like cars everywhere, people everywhere. It was a beautiful place, and the mafia had a big presence. Like this whole building's all over there, over there. We own them. Friends of ours, that were in the mafia, the Genovese Crime Family out of New York.
Yeah.
This is the Genovese Crime Family territory. Springfield, Mass. is the Genovese Crime Family.
Got it.
Based out of New York.
Got
So
you.
that's where we are here.
How does that work, right? How does the Genovese send or extend a family in Springfield, Mass? Why Springfield, Mass?
Right. So it goes way back to like the 20s when the mafia was just getting started existing. There was no mafia at that time. They started making guys. Mafia became and existed around the 30s. Lucky Luciano, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's just like you got people that that are in Springfield. At this time, we had a heavily populated Italian community.
Got it.
I mean, it was just like really tons of Italian immigrants.
Got it.
So when they came here, they had connections to New York. One of them was Big No Sam Kafari, who was the boss from here from the 30s
Got it.
to 1983 when he died. Legendary boss. He was at the infamous Appalachian meeting in New York, or wherever they had it, Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah.
When all the bosses from all over the country,
They were
back
in
then
like-
mafia was everywhere.
Yeah, they were in like a forest area, right?
Yeah, when they all were running, when the state police came, and they were all run. Yeah, so Sam was there representing Springfield, Mass, and so that just goes to show how powerful of a man he was, that he was at that meeting.
Got you.
And so he, the Genovese had a branch here, and then they, so that's how they existed with.
You good? I'm talking to him.
Connecticut, Western Mass, and Central Mass. Worcester.
Okay.
Was Genovese territory, and they also have branches in New Jersey and Florida.
Got you. Okay, so show me where we at.
So we're in downtown Springfield,
Nice.
right here. So if you look all the way down the street, these were all bar restaurants owned by the mafia.
Okay.
I'm going back to the 80s, 90s, 2003. And if you look across the other way, that big, huge building over there, that was the largest gentleman.
Okay.
That's a 4-story building and there was 5 strip clubs just around there. There was one right over there where it says People Club. There was one right over there. There was another one down over there. And there was another one over there. All
Got it.
Strip clubs.
Got it. Okay.
And so this was mafia owned.
Okay.
Mafia controlled this. They controlled everything here.
Understood.
We controlled the streets, and we controlled the legitimate businesses.
Got you.
When I say legitimate bar, restaurants, construction, garbage, unions. I mean, it was ruled. It was like it was like an empire within an empire.
So tell me, what building is this? Let's take a walk over there.
Yeah. So this was called the Mardi Gras. So all these places right here. This was an Italian, and this is white. So this is the Mardi Gras strip club.
Okay.
But there's all sorts of restaurants. There's cigar shops. There was nightclubs inside there. There's a restaurant on the other side of it.
Got it.
4 floors. It was like 100 girls dancing. Everyone came from everywhere. Yeah. This was like...
What type of strip club? It's not a strip club like we go to today.
No, it was better than the ones in New York. Well, I'm telling you, I had guys come up from New York, Boston. This was the best strip club. You know who will tell you that? The girls that worked here.
Yo, Ed, come on, Ed.
I swear. Listen, look at how big it is.
Yo, Ed, don't do your boy like that.
Listen, look at how big it is.
Ed, ain't no strip club
I've
better
been
than
to the strip
Starlet's.
clubs, the ones
Hey,
VIP and Sammy Zerko.
Yeah,
I know them. They come up here. He was gonna buy another one. With
They
us
said
up here.
so. This is the four floors of
Look
dances.
at it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the top floor isn't, but the other floors are all used for that nightclubs. Look at how big it is. Nightclubs.
Is this still a strip club?
No, the guy. So he ended up selling it. The guy ended up we didn't know it. He was a federal informant since the 80s, and he was giving information.
What was his name?
Jimmy Santinello.
So yeah, because you said that Jimmy. I heard you talk about Jimmy. You said Jimmy was a rat.
Yeah, he was, but we never knew it until it came out publicly. It's in newspapers. It came out in around 2016. But yes, he was giving information. That's why everyone was going to prison, and they knew everything about us because he was giving the information this whole time. And he wasn't a made guy. His partner, Anthony Arillotta, who was a mob boss here as well, he was his partner, a made guy.
So what happens by him cooperating, right?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, he didn't cooperate. He was an informant.
Informant.
That's
Okay.
different.
Explain the difference between.
Right.
So can you explain this to me? Because there's something in our community that's going on, right?
Right.
Shout out to the guy that just came home. We did a lot of time. About 30 years. He was part of the Supreme team. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay. So he said there's a difference between confidential informant, informant, and a snitch.
Well,
how do you view that?
All right, so like when we go to war with other countries, we need spies, right, to get information?
Yes.
That's what an informant is. An informant doesn't have to get in trouble. He can just be one of those dirty individuals that just wants to go out and jealous of people and wants to, is jealous of their success and wants to ruin them. Or he could have got in a drug game. He could have got popped with a few kilos. He's looking at 30 years.
Got it.
He becomes an informant. He starts giving information. He wears wires. He goes back. He's a spy for the law enforcement.
Got you.
So that's that's kind of a lower level when it comes to that level.
Got you.
All right. Then there's a guy where they call snitches and rats and guys that cooperated, right?
Yes.
There's some scumbags that do that too. They're facing 5 years, 10 years, and they'll end up cooperating, weak individuals. And then there's the guys that, like in my case, I faced a death penalty case.
Yeah, I heard
so it's either, and my take was, my story goes, they did me dirty as far as everyone cooperating against me, put me with all these cooperators. So my thing was, instead of dying in prison, death penalty case, that's what I did. I cooperated with the government. So there's like levels.
So what's a CI? Confidential? What's it?
Confidential is the same thing as an informant. They just give them a CI. They put a number in it. So when you go to court and all these, he was over here this day. CI said it. They give him a confidential informant. They just don't say informant. It's the same thing. Confidential informant and informant is the same thing.
Can I call you Tony?
Yeah, Anthony, Tony.
So the question I have for you, Tony, is that because your story is an interesting one. Do you, when you're sitting behind bars, right, and you're thinking about your children, your life,
right,
because before you go to prison and you hear about people telling, because I heard how you spoke about people that told before. You spoke down on them.
I killed people that told.
Yeah, you killed people that told. So then, when you make that decision, do you sort of regret killing them?
Well, I regret two things. I don't regret anything I did in the past.
Okay.
Because I made millions of dollars on the street myself. Nothing to do with the mafia. I was a big marijuana guy and everything. I regret joining the mafia again and becoming a made member, which I got made in New York City.
Got it.
In the Bronx.
Got it.
And the violence, the murders. Okay. That's what I regret. I regret that the murders, and it's not like I regret them because I'm one of those, I found God and I found this. We killed each other. Like, I didn't kill anybody that was innocent. And if I die tomorrow, I'm not innocent. So I partook in that life, right? So we killed each other. I killed a guy that killed 5 people. I killed the guy, this guy killed 10 people, he gets killed. That's how it works in the mafia. So there isn't no remorse when it comes to that. Now, if I ran over a little kid driving, I would probably, that would just devastate me.
Yeah, understood.
If I did something, watch behind him.
Come on. Sorry.
That would bother me. Like something that, something along those lines. But we don't do that. We hurt each other.
There was a guy from Harlem named Alpo
Yeah, I was in prison with him.
Yeah, Alpo passed away.
Real good. They killed him.
Yeah, they killed
Nicest,
him.
what a gentleman.
Yeah,
I was with him, Flair.
Yeah.
Yup.
So I want to ask you. So Alpo told me when Alpo came home, when I spoke to him on the phone.
Is that when he? Oh, you didn't do that video with him? Because
No.
I know he did a video out there.
He did do a video. That wasn't me. No.
Okay.
Alpo told me when he came home that he's home, even though he cooperated, he's home walking around in public because he accept what he did, and if he did get killed, he knows what comes with that. Like he knows.
Right.
Are you on the same lines
Yeah.
of that? If somebody come up and say, God forbid, or try to shoot you,
Yep, I'm okay with it.
you okay? Where does that mentality come
So
from?
I had a choice. Like, I didn't want to cooperate. That was my last resort. I almost didn't do it. I had a John Mitchell out of New York, best attorney. It wasn't like when I got indicted in 2010. I didn't cooperate. It took me time and to see everything that they had and all the witnesses, and then like in my story, the boss in New York put me around an informant that we knew was an informant. I asked permission to kill him. He wanted to do it.
Got it.
So the only part that hurts me about cooperating, thank God I did it, but the only part that would only 4 people went to prison because of me. 3 of them I told ahead of time that what I was going to do. And they're from Massachusetts, so our indictment came out of New York.
Got it.
So I said, these guys, the boss in New York we thought he was cooperating too, which he was. He was missing in the system. I don't know if you know about prison, but when someone goes out of the system, he was with the feds, they thought he was cooperating.
Yes.
My lawyer comes up and tells me that the Genovese family bosses are worried sick about this guy, that he cooperated. So my whole thing was, if me and you are close, and when I say close, we don't have nobody that are close with us in that way. They'll kill me and I'll kill them.
Got it.
We killed each other. We killed our best friends from when we were little kids.
Yeah,
that's how we do. We're
sick.
sick. But the problem is, I still don't want to go out like that. So I'm going to give you a heads up. I go, listen, we're going to get life. If not, if we face a death penalty, we're going to get life. This is what I'm going to do. I'm your boss. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to cooperate. You guys cooperate with me. There was 3 of them. Cooperate. Now, you got a decision, like you said, the kids, your wife, your girlfriend, money on the streets, living your freedom, never mind. Your freedom, right? Now you got a decision to make. But I'm telling you before I even do anything, that I'm going to do it. And I want you to do it with me. We come back here. See, we're right here right now. We're in downtown Springfield where we're notorious mobsters.
Yes.
We're here right now, right?
We are.
They could be here with me. The 3 of them could be here with me, and we could be doing our legitimate businesses like I'm doing. I have a wine business, things like that, real estate. They could be here with me. They chose not to. And I know they regret that because they could have made it's a hard decision, but so what? It's a hard decision against one guy in New York that put us with informants that we knew he was an informant.
Well, okay, so the guy that was missing, wasn't it
Artie Nigel. He was the boss, one of the bosses of the Genovese family in New York.
Was he cooperating?
So the lawyer comes up to me, and this is my first visit with my New York attorney. Now, I don't even think about cooperating yet.
Got it.
Now, we got 4 people that know about the murder. John Bologna, who was the guy I wanted to kill, he was the informant.
Yes.
We got warned by the Gambinos, the patriarchal family, that he was no good. That's the guy Artie wanted to let me kill. That was the guy that was around Artie.
Got it.
You got the guy Ray, captain, that knew about the murder. You got the shooter in the case that knew about it, and you got another captain, Felix Stringese. So we're dead no matter what. We're going to get beat on that murder. But now when the lawyer comes up to me and says, New York bosses are worried sick, I go, what are they worried about? Artie was doing time at Fort Dix for 5 years.
Yeah,
he was about to come out.
Yes.
He's not in the system.
Got
Now, and listen, I can tell you this. I'm going to tell you this real quick. So if they're worried, what should I be? I'm second on the indictment on a death penalty case. He says, well, let's just see. Let's get to... How does a guy... And this is a lawyer now. This guy's been missing for over a month. How does a guy go missing in the system when his lawyers don't... What, do they kidnap him? His lawyers don't know where they are. His family doesn't know where they are. He doesn't get a phone call. They just kidnapped him for over a month and a half. And then the second thing is, my partner in my wine business is the marshal that worked on the case. He's not a marshal anymore. He's in a real estate. He contacted me. So we're talking about the case. He picked up Artie from Fort Dix. So the marshals travel you. You know,
I know the marshal. Yeah,
he picked him up. He dropped him off at MCC Manhattan. How did he? So when I'm there, the bosses don't know where he is. Everyone where he is. How did he end up in MDC? Because when I got finally transferred from, on my case,
Rhode Island.
I go to Rhode Island to MCC.
Yeah.
the bosses of the Genovese come up to me, whisper me, hey, we found Artie. We know where he is. He's at MDC. How did he get to MDC? When the marshal will tell you that he dropped him off at MCC and he was missing for over a month. So in my belief is, just like with Junior Gotti and these guys that Anthony Paso, these guys that want to make a plea, and I'm sure you know a lot of guys, you know, in the drug business and the drug game and all that, they go to make a deal. If you up, first of all, nobody gets deals either. I faced a death penalty case, multiple murder conspiracy and everything.
Yeah.
Who's going to get a deal to come out from under that? And, you know, they're going to give you a deal, number one.
Yeah.
So when you up, they get rid of that deal. I believe that when he was going to try to make a deal, he was going to try to say this and that and protect, you know, that's what they do. Like if me and you are brothers, you're my brother, blood brother. I don't want to go against you, so I'm going to leave that murder out.
Yeah.
But the feds, they know about that.
They know already.
You have to know. So boom. And I believe that's what happened.
So, but there's no documents that says that Artie cooperated.
There's none that I saw. But there could be 302s. I've never saw them.
What is a 302?
It's like if you sat down and talked, like, okay, so, and sometimes they're hard to get, but Junior Gotti has a 302. He sat down with the feds.
What Junior?
John Gotti's son.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's considered a rat. He's definitely considered no good.
I didn't really.
Yeah. He sat down and gave a 302, but what he tried to do was label his enemies, the murders that his enemies did, not the that he did, and his uncles and his family. So they said no deal, and that's when he had to go to those trials and beat those trials and do all that. That's when he got forced. Now, I believe that if he got found guilty on those trials, he was going to flip-flop. You know, definitely cooperation.
So what I'm saying, okay, so for you to say, I'm not, because I'm not familiar with that. So for you to say that John Gotti Jr. has a 302, but
Right.
if he went to trial and beat it, how are we certain? Did the 302 come out?
It doesn't matter. If he went to a pen, right, they would butcher him. Like Whitey Bulger got butchered by Mike. That was my guy.
Yeah.
They would do the same thing.
So
he
is
would
it
have to check
the documents come out on him? That's what I didn't.
On Artie, no, I don't.
Not
I didn't
Artie.
see
I'm talking about John Gotti.
Oh yeah, they came out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Everyone knows this.
I
Like
didn't know
in the
that.
Italian community, you know, everyone knows. Like even when I existed on the street, we knew John Gotti was no good, and not to
His father was good.
His father was unbelievably. He was like one of a kind, like good. And there's 1,000 guys like his father. You just don't ever hear their names because of the Castellano murder. Put him into that like notorious Al Capone type. You know,
Explain that to me, right? Like even you doing what you did, do you still hold John Gotti or people like that and respect their badge? Because you had a badge.
John Gotti Jr.?
No, John Gotti, the senior.
Senior, yeah.
Yeah. Do you still?
Yeah.
Even if you cooperated for whatever your reason was, do you still say like I still respect him?
Of course.
Or do you look down on people choosing to go that path now? Like you chose to spend your rest of your life.
John Gotti Sr. didn't cooperate.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He was like, you know,
the path
a
meaning
legend.
the path meaning. When I mean the path meaning that he's going the path to not cooperate, and I'm gonna do my time. Same thing with like Supreme. Same thing with different people that we hear about.
And you see those guys that do that. I was one of those guys. I did 13 years. I was one of them guys. But when at the end of the day, when you see everyone has a decision at the end. Yeah. I made mine.
No, but the question is, do you still respect, even though you took the
them guys? Yeah,
you still respect them?
Yeah.
Okay,
I respect
got it.
Like they're very few.
Got it.
I would say it's 1/100th of 1% that are like that. A lot of these guys, what happens is it almost happened to me.
Okay.
And I know it happens. So you're going hard at first, and then you want to roll the dice. That's why I believe my 3 guys didn't do what I did because. They didn't want to do any time, so they rolled the dice to try to beat it at trial. Yeah. How you gonna beat it at trial when we had 4 guys, and then if I flip, you guys are fucking toasted. Take a plea for 30 years even.
Can you give me, because I like this topic real quick. Can you give me 3 guys that you would say, you know what, Flip? I respect. They kept their head tall. You know, John Gotti passed away in prison.
I can give you 1,000 guys that did.
But can you give me the top 3, like in your mind, when you say, yo, Flip, these guys went in, did their time, men of men. That's what they consider.
like Bobby Mann out of New Jersey. He was going to kill John Gotti.
Oh.
He got 100 and something years. Fat Tony Salerno, old man, got 100 and something years. Died in prison. You know, these guys lived that life. Vinny Basciano. 20 life, I don't know, 5 life sentences he's got, right? He's going to die in prison. He's in the ADX. So when I say John Gotti, the only reason we're talking about John Gotti...
I got it.
Because he's so notorious.
Got it.
But like I said, there's thousands of guys that
are
like him that are going to end up dying in prison that did what he did. It's just you don't hear about those guys because they weren't as infamous as Gotti was.
Okay.
That's the only reason why. But there's many guys, and when I say it's still one. Now these other guys that go to prison, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, they roll the dice. They try to beat it at trial. Mm-hmm. They get guilty. Now they get smoked. 99% of those guys wish after they got 10 years in, go back and wish they had made a deal, or did some sort of deal to get out of it. And I'll tell you why, because I was with a lot of guys that did, it's called a Rule 35.
Got it.
They're in prison doing life. A couple of Washington, D.C., the blacks there, D.C. blacks. Mm-hmm. While you're in prison, you could be doing a life bid, right? But let's just say there's no murders. It's just a drug case.
Yeah.
Now, you see this guy kill that guy.
Yeah.
That you're a witness.
Got it.
You get a reduced sentence called the Rule 35. So they do it in there, too. They do it all the time. There's guys that if they had any little smidget of thing that the problem is they don't have nothing that they could tell on.
Got it.
Because they went to trial and you blew your load. You don't have any information. There's no bodies buried that you could tell them.
Last comment on the cooperation. Do you know anybody who cooperated that went to prison and that did not have a hard time? Meaning that they were respected. People would still, even if they told, people would still.
No, they won't. Well, yeah, they might be scared, but that only is going to happen if, if there's certain prisons that they go to. There ain't none in a penitentiary. There's 13 pens in the United States. There ain't one rat walking around there without getting,
Really?
I don't care who they are, black.
No
I don't know how much
it's
like, I know when it comes to the whites and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it's the same thing with, the whole thing. Penitentiaries are penitentiaries.
Got it.
Let me tell you, anybody thinks that jail is a good time. Like, I had a blast in jail. I was in mediums and everything. You work out, you read good books. Yeah. I mean, when I say a blast, I took advantage of it. Yeah. Working out, reading good books. Yeah. But at the end of the day, what was most important for me was my 3 little kids and my wife, and my girlfriend, that was what I cared about. And when I got out in 2008, after I beat an extortion case, and I did that 3.5 years then, I was done with the mob. Yeah. Like, I didn't want, my whole goal was to get into legitimate business, like you see, bars, restaurants, strip clubs, where you can make millions and millions, real estate, construction, all legitimate businesses. Yeah. And I didn't want anything to do with none of this. But there's just some guys this was like my guys, the 2 brothers. When you murder, some guys love that, and they want to keep killing. And then they kill for no reason. And now they're just making up excuses to kill. And I wasn't like that. Like, if I kill, I want to be like, I hope nobody knows I did it. These guys would be like walking around letting people know that they did it in ways.
Let's take a walk back to the car. So you made a lot of money before you got with the mob.
Yeah, I was a millionaire.
A millionaire. Tell me how.
So,
like, how did that happen?
In the 90s, if you're a street guy, $1 million was a lot.
Yes, of course.
That was everyone's goal. Make $1 million.
Uh-huh.
So I got out of prison. I did 3 years from 90 to 95, all those years. I got out in 93.
Yeah.
So I get out in 93, and we had a big loan sharking business. I had $400,000 on the street. My father had a successful grape business, produce, fruit and vegetables, So I borrowed $100,000 in cash
from your dad.
Yeah.
So your dad wasn't in the streets?
No, he was a hard-working guy. He had one of the biggest small businesses, cash business. All the poor people who come back then, it was food stamps. It was actually money, food stamps, $1 bills, $5 bills, 10, 20. Yeah. And so all the poor people came. You could get 5 times you could get at my father's store if you go to the grocery store.
Got it.
So you spend $100 at my father, it's like getting $500 worth of stuff that per price at the grocery store. So everybody, all the immigrants, the poor people, would have come to my father's store.
Got you.
So he had money. He wasn't rich, but he was, we lived in middle class, and I wasn't starving as a young kid. I had a place to live, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So he gives me $100,000, put it back on the streets. Now I'm $100,000 in debt. It's 1993. And I just hit the streets hard with the marijuana mostly, right?
Does he know that you're in the street, Dad?
Yeah, he knows, but I don't discuss my business with him. But he knows I'm not working at his store, and that's the only job I ever had my whole life. I never had a job in my whole life. I owned businesses, restaurants, all that, but I never worked. So he knows that I'm doing something on the street, but he didn't know to the extent of it. And I didn't even know to the extent of what I was going to be making. I made millions and millions of dollars. I was a millionaire by 1997. So I come out of 93 broke, 100,000 in debt. And by 1997, I got 1.3 that I can actually touch it, look at it.
Oh,
look at it.
1.3.
Yeah, and then plus I got money on the street working for me. I got mom, and it was just unbelievable.
Do you feel like, before we go to the other spot, Pops, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was a situation with you that I don't care what my son does, I love him?
Yeah.
Even if I'm a hardworking man, I got my place. I love my son.
But he didn't want me in that life. He didn't.
I
and
know.
if you have a son, especially with see, people don't realize what the mafia was back in those days. It's nothing. It's not 5% of what it was. Even though they exist in New York, they're not 5% of what they were back at the power that they had.
Got it.
And so he knew like what it was. We always know you have to kill. They're killers. They'll kill you. Your best friends kill. He didn't want me to be part of anything like that. He preached that to me as a young kid.
Got it.
I'd be hanging around down the South End, which we'll go to afterwards.
Got it.
He didn't want me hanging around there because that's what's the mafia headquarters with all the gangsters.
Got it.
So he didn't want that life for me. When I got made into the family, I actually told him. And I said, Dad, I got made in New York City. He goes, what'd you do that for? Like he knew I fucking ruined my life, you know.
Got it.
Because you got to take orders. They tell you to kill your best friend. You got to kill him, which they did tell me that.
Got it. Where was your mom?
She was there.
She was there.
Yeah.
How was Mom when it came to that? Or did you protect Mom from knowing anything?
My family, I never told my wife, my family, nothing.
Really?
Nothing. Like they didn't know anything until the murders happened, and they started putting me in the newspapers and on the news that I'm the mob boss in this area and I'm behind this murder and blah blah blah.
Got it.
But no, if my wife, I killed her sister's husband.
I heard.
She came up to me and she said, she was worried the husband didn't come home. I just told her to get away from me and this. And I would never just. She didn't know what I did. She knew I owned a nightclub in Hartford, Connecticut, the biggest nightclub. Her friends call her up because word on the streets goes around. Yeah. Her friends call her up and says, "Hey, can your husband get us into Club Blue?" And so she asked me. She goes, "Hey, my girlfriends want to get into Club Blue. They want you to get them in. How would you get them in? How do you know?" They said it's your place. You own it. She didn't even know I owned it. She didn't know anything about my money. Good thing she didn't.
But hold on, but she went through 1.5.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I heard your wife spend 1.5 million.
Yeah.
How did she spend 1.5 million?
So
what did she spend it on? Did you know?
Right. So when I was getting indicted, I picked up 4 racketeer indictments: 03, 2 and 05, and 1 and 07. I pled guilty to 2.5 years in the feds, 3.5 years in the state, running concurrent. So I started doing my time in 05. I had made so much money, millions of dollars, and she knew nothing about it. She knew nothing about my money. All I know is that she knew she could have everything she wanted.
Got it.
I left her home. She had a brand new BMW. The house was paid off. She had no worry about bills, and I was making $100,000 a month in cash that was getting dropped off to her while I was in prison. So the reason I tell her I had $700,000 around that in my house, and I didn't. When you're making a lot of money, you don't know where to keep it and all that. So I told her, this is the first time I ever told her where money. The reason I told her about this money was because I didn't think she was going to be able to ever touch that, because I was making $100,000. All my rackets on my streets was bringing in, while I was in prison, was bringing in $100,000 a month. Never mind what I would have been making if I was on the streets.
Yeah.
But $100,000 is still a good amount, right? The money was in a Tupperware, like a plastic Tupperware, keep it fresh.
I know.
It was above the microwave. My wife's like she's making waffles for my daughters. Sometimes they burn them. The microwave is under there, and I don't want to see the money. I go, listen, be careful for the toaster. I got money up there. I go, so make sure you don't ever start a fire, because it would start the cabinets and burn the money.
Of course.
So she knows about that, the money now. I go to do the 3.5 years. She had $100,000 ring. I think it was like almost 2 carats, flawless. Right, boom. She upgraded it to another 2 carats. She had a BMW, upgraded that to a Lexus SUV. with a loan on it. She was going to Florida, with her family, my kids, but she was, taking her sister, her aunt, with those kids, 2 times a year, paying for all that. She was refurnishing my house. She, I left her with all beautiful leather mahogany couches, beautiful thing. She get rid of them, give it to her brother. Get a new thing. Get rid of them, give it to her mother. Get rid of them, give it to her aunt. She was refurnishing the house. She was buying back then True Religion jeans, $600 a pop. She was buying $1,200 blouses. She was buying my little daughters, they were 3 and 4 when I went to prison. I came home, the tags were still on them, $700 outfits that they never wore. And so she was just going through money. And I got warned. My father and my mother and people on the streets came up. They said, they want me to tell you your wife is spending a lot of money. I said, don't worry about it. I go, let her spend what she wants.
Yeah, forget about it.
Because I didn't think she could spend that, come home.
Mm-hmm.
When I beat the case in 07, I got out in 08, I come home, I go and check the first night I'm home. I walk into my house. It's like I was living in Miami Vice. White leather couches. I didn't even it was...
Yeah.
What the hell is this furniture, right?
Yeah.
I go and check the money. There was like $40,000 left. Not to mention all the money that she blew coming in on top of it.
So, how do you handle it? So, be honest with me.
Yeah. I tell that to people in prisons. I would have killed that bitch.
If you didn't change mentally, could it have been bad for her?
No, because I would never, she got scared the first night I was home.
She went to go sleep at her mom's house.
She went to go sleep at her mom. So I got stuck with my little kids. Where's mommy? But I would never, kill my wife, hurt my wife, this and I said, how the f could you go through all that money? And plus, that wasn't all my money. So, she went through that, which I didn't, so it was like, I was pissed because, she was complaining. She always complaining we live in a house, you could have bought $2 million, you could have bought 2 houses in the wealthiest part of the suburb here.
It's a fact.
For $700,000 each for the money that you went through. And, she just didn't grasp that. And
how did she find out about your girlfriend?
Oh, that was bad.
And how did she treat you after that?
Oh, that was so all that happened in my last death penalty case.
Yeah.
So now I got a death penalty case. I knew I was going to get indicted for it. So I ended up retaining the lawyer out of New York.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be getting indicted. So I got John Mitchell. I have the best attorney here, Vinny Bonjourni, but a case was out of New York. He referred me to John Mitchell. So, one of the best, right? Yeah. So I'm going to fight the case. I know I'm going to get indicted, and that's the way I'm going to go.
Yes.
When I get there, that's when I find out about all the witnesses, all the discovery they had. They had not only the 4 guys that were involved in the murder against us, and that maybe Artie was flipping. There was 100 witnesses that went to the grand jury on us. Never mind those guys. Like I said, the guy Jimmy, guys like him, that were, if they needed to call them bar, restaurant owners in other states.
Yeah.
They had all them.
Yes.
So I knew we were dead. So anyways, I get there. My father, when I was in prison in 07, during that time, he passed away on March 8th of 07. Yeah. So March 8th of 2010, now I'm in Rhode Island facing a death penalty case. They're waiting to ship me to New York. March 8th, the same exact date. I call up my girl, and usually she's all happy. She's the reason really why I'm here. She's got it through my head. You got 3 little kids. Blah, blah. Yeah. I go, what's the matter? She goes, your wife's on the other line. And I said, well, let me call her. So what she did was she called up my girl and said, oh, hi, this is Anthony's cousin. He's going to get moved to New York. He wanted me to call you. The reason she got the number was one time I called my girl from my phone. One time. I was out late, on Valentine's Day, weekend, whatever. And I called her up at 3 in the morning to make sure she got home okay. My wife got the phone bill. She see the 3 o'clock phone call, called it up, and went to the voicemail, got her name, called her back. Now she knows her name, so she thinks my girl thinks I gave my wife the number to my cousin to call her, right?
Got it.
Talking. So she talked to her for about an hour. Oh, where does he take you? Do you guys love each other? Do you have sex?
Oh, my wifey pulled the biggest move.
Where do you go to for restaurants? What restaurants does he go to? How long have you been with him? Do you love him? Does he love you? Yes. We go here. All the places I took my wife, I'm taking her. And
so you double dip?
And my wife, I was with her for 20 years. I got 3 kids with her. We went through a lot together. So I was, we were close, but, the reason I kept my girl, not only did, we loved each other too, but, after my wife went through all that money, and it was this girl's my
Rock.
Yeah, she's like a boy, girl version of me. She was like right there for me. She moved down to New Jersey when I was doing all this time. So, but anyways, my wife had a breakdown, and she was like, so now, but before she caught me, with her, she came up for the visit.
Yeah.
And what was happening? So here's what was going to go down. So that's when I said, you know what? I'm thinking, can I cooperate? Can I? I can't. I can't. I'm going back and forth. Right?
Yeah.
I have her come up, and I run it by her. She's all for it. This is before she caught me cheating.
Yeah.
She says, yeah, I want you to do it. She was like, your friends, the mafia.
Yeah.
I hated them, right?
Yeah,
now
yeah,
all of a sudden
yeah.
when I flipped, she was on their side. Oh, you, and she loves them.
What?
Yeah. So anyways, she goes, I want you to do it. I want you to do it. I want you to do it. So here's the plan, I said. So my two friends that were on my case. Like I said, the two brothers, and then there was the Italian kid, Emilio.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about, remind me to ask me about him after.
Okay.
How they treated him when he went away, and he didn't cooperate. So I said, here's the plan. Now, I'm close with the cousin, Nikki. She's a girl. She's actually married to guys I pled guilty to conspiracy to murder.
Yeah.
The Manzies. I go, you got to go back and tell my wife, bring Nikki up here on a visit, because I could get 1 3-hour visit a week.
Yeah.
Or 3 1-hour visits.
Yeah, of course.
Bring Nikki up here. I go, I'm going to explain to her everything so she can go visit her cousin in prison.
And tell him.
And tell them, me to her, then her to him.
Them. Got
and
it.
This is what I'm going to do, and this is what I want them to do.
As the boss as well.
As the boss, and this is, we're smoked, and then listen, we're all shooters and killers, right? We'll come right back here, right to our area, right? And we'll open up legitimate businesses. Your kids will be happy that you did this. They have kids.
Got it.
My kids will be grateful that I did this, right?
Got it.
We're back with our family. Who's more important? If you've got kids, who's more important than your kids in life? I don't care what anybody says. At the end of the day, if it's your best friend or your kids, your best friend's going.
Yeah. Because y'all live by that rule as well. If best friend have to go, y'all gonna take him out.
Right, but also, if you're going to make a decision over your kids or him,
you're going to pick your children.
You can pick
your
children,
of course.
Right. So her name was Nikki, supposed to come up and visit, and my wife's going to bring her up. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to explain to her what happened. Then I got caught cheating. Now my wife doesn't want to help no more. She goes, you, I hope you die in there, fucking piece of shit. Having a break, she had to go see psychiatrists and therapists, and I'm saying, hey, calm down. Listen, now I'm facing a death penalty. Now I'm thinking, now she knows that I'm thinking about cooperating. I didn't even reach out to nobody yet. Now she's going to have a nervous breakdown. She's probably going to tell people, oh, he's thinking about cooperating. And I didn't even make a decision about it.
Got it.
So now she's not telling Nikki to come up and see me, so I have to have another way to go and approach them. So I have to have my uncle, who doesn't know how to communicate as well. And then he's not going to go visit Freddie in prison. He's going to go see the psychopath brother on the street who's all paranoid and schizophrenic. If me and you killed somebody, and my uncle comes up to you and says, hey, Aunt, my nephew wants me to give you a message. You guys are going to get smoked. There's going to be superseding indictment. He wants you guys to make a deal. The guy's going, I don't know what you're talking about, Mikey. I mean, he's like that, which I would be doing the same thing too.
Understood.
Like, this is serious shit. This is death penalty, life in prison shit.
Of course.
So that's how it ended up happening. The message got to them, but not the way it was supposed to.
Intended to.
And I believe that if the cousin comes up to me, because I know how Freddie thinks, and Ty's going to do everything that Freddie does. If the cousin comes up to me and I give her that message, and I lay it out on a 3-hour visit, all the witnesses, over 100 witnesses against us. Everybody here was a witness against us. All these so-called street guys, the Bazil brothers, the mafia boss, Babishabelli, his son-in-law and his brother, all witnesses against us, right?
Really?
Yeah, I went to the grand jury, all that. So, bar owners, bar restaurant owners, guys, everybody and their mother was.
So the feds gathered everyone up.
And they had 4 guys directly that could put us to a murder.
Yes.
We're not beating the case.
Got it.
So anyways, that's how that went down. So that's how my wife caught me cheating, and that's how I couldn't get the message to the brothers the right way that I wanted to.
You guys are not together anymore?
No, so right when that happened, now I'm getting chest pains in there, now I'm facing, can I, even think about cooperating?
Yeah.
That's something I never believed in.
Yes.
I killed you if you did that. I don't want to surrender like that.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I wanted to do. But now I'm thinking about doing it, but I want my guys to do it with me. It would have been 3 of them.
Yes.
Us 3 against 1 guy in New York. If we got to shoot it out with them on the streets right here, I'd rather die here than to do life and surrender.
But he was a powerful one, right?
No, he was a soldier.
Oh,
the
okay.
powerful one put him there.
Got it.
He was a soldier. He shouldn't even have been there.
Got
he
it.
was a soldier. The boss was going to prison for 5 years.
Yes, Artie.
Upped him up.
Got it.
No, Ernie.
Ernie, sorry.
Upped Artie up. So Artie went from a soldier, bypassed all these captains and everything, to a boss.
Okay. But was Artie tough?
Artie was,
honestly,
when you say tough, like
was he?
He was a very greedy. Here's what he was. He might have been tough.
Like, was
but
he
was
feared?
a stupid. Not like the Genovese family, other bosses, and
Got it.
the
Okay.
thing. He was. Listen, I was at Bronx. I was at meetings in New York when guys were coming up, and Artie was telling them, "You report to me now." He goes, "No, I don't report to nobody but the chin," and he goes, "No, now you report to me." They didn't even want to report to him. They didn't respect him. They didn't want none of that because they're saying, "Who the f are you?" It's like politics. You were a soldier. I'm a captain, and now I got to report to you because you're a boss now because this guy put you there.
Yeah.
So they didn't respect him like that, and he was a greedy scumbag of a boss. He's the one. So listen, they could say whatever they want, me cooperating, this and that. The mafia is dead here, and it's not because of me. It's because of him and the informant that he had around him,
Okay.
John Bologna. That's why they destroyed our area. Their greed, their murderous ways to get people out. They wanted to see what their whole goal was. They wanted to take over this area and funnel everyone down there. That's why they made me in New York. When I shot the guy in New York, they wanted to make us kids here to report to New York, so we're loyal to, the New York bosses.
Okay.
And then eventually we get orders from them. We got to take all the money here. This guy owns this guy owns that, and funnel it now to New York. That was their mission. That was their goal.
Got it.
And John Bologna was the one that was orchestrating it all.
Got it.
He was the one going back and forth, causing all the problems.
So Ernie was tough.
Ernie Muscarella, yeah.
He was a tough one.
Ernie's there. Larry Dentico, he was on the boss.
I'm just saying,
Mario
but
Gigante.
But he was one of them that you
Yeah.
said. Hey, was he respected? Ernie?
Yeah. He's still respected to this day. He's alive still.
Got you. Okay, shout out. Artie, but would you say that it's still protocol, right?
Yeah.
So would you say that, okay, why did Ernie put Artie in that position then? Why did he take a soldier and put him in that position? Is that unheard of?
It's unheard of, but he wanted somebody that was, so Artie was in Ernie's crew. He wanted somebody that was loyal to him.
Close to him.
That would protect his,
Got it.
watch his back because it's all treacherous. When you go to prison, you think like these guys take care of you. I told you to ask me about Emilio Fusco, the guy that's beat the case. They don't do for you. Not only do they take your businesses, they'll look if you got a pretty wife to your wife and do things like that. Now you come home from prison. Now never mind your enemies you got to kill. Now you got to kill these guys too now. It never ends. Yeah. When the guy comes home, you steal my money, and my wife says you came to my house. What'd you come to my house for? You didn't leave her no money. What was your intentions? Coming to my house.
He tried to take your wife down?
Well, I'm just saying he shows up at my house with that, do you need anything? What do you need?
I know
And
that
what do you
trick.
need? Dude, you don't do that. If anything, send your wife there. You don't go to my house.
Yeah.
So you got to kill him now.
But wait, okay. What you're talking about, I understand because I've heard that before.
Right.
Right? But there are some men that allow even though it may be a mistake, allow their homies to go talk to their wife. You go check on her, but you believe that
mafia.
That's a no-no.
You don't want ever to be in it. So mafia always like if there's three of us, I want to bring him. When I talk to you, you're a mafia captain. He's a soldier. I'm a captain. I want to have a witness. I talk with you. Yeah, he was. They always want to have somebody there. When you go to the house by yourself, there's nobody there but you. She could say anything. Oh, he made a pass at me. She could get that guy killed, and he didn't do nothing.
Got it.
So there's so much that could happen. That's a no-no. And I'm sure, even in the gang's life, the gangster, your guy's life, and everything.
African American.
I don't think that it's like they're going to be too fond of.
They're not. No. But
some guy showing up at the house and not bringing no money.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's one thing if you sent them, you got to go give a message.
You got to give. You have to bring money. Yes, you do. Okay,
but even if you have to bring money,
how did
you don't bring it. You have your wife drop it off.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So, what's the guy name again that you said? What's the guy that did Emilio? What's his name?
Emilio Fusco.
Emilio Fusco.
He was an Italian immigrant from Italy that came.
So
here
he went to your crib and your wife.
No, he didn't go. He didn't go. Oh, he did go. He's a piece of shit too. I got indicted before him. Me and him hate each other. He was trying to get me killed when we were years back, and then he seen me come into power. Then he started coming around me because he knew that I had the power now. But so I had money that was on the streets. Sure enough, he was in prison when I went away in 2005.
Got it.
He got out in like 2006.
Got it.
He started going after my.
Oh.
So
can you explain that, going after your stuff?
So he's a made guy. The rest of the guys around here are like associates, and They're not made, but they're in my crew. I had the vicious crew. I had the biggest and most vicious crew. They didn't care about made guys. They'd fucking shoot you.
They'll shoot you made. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
made. They, you know, but the couple of them. But then the other ones that went along with that mafia style, the mafia made guys got seniority over them. So when it came to the numbers,
he would come and ask to see it.
He would be like, hey, that, you know, I want to involve with this. We were with our shake, because don't forget, I built up everything from when I took over in 03. I built an empire. Now he comes out, and now he's trying, because I had everything. I had everything, legitimate businesses, bars, restaurants, all the street stuff, the numbers, the casinos, you know, Joker pokers, you know, the slot machines.
Yeah.
That was bringing in hundreds of thousands a week. It's crazy. Just that. Never mind the loan sharking, then the shakedowns, you know, the extort, the extorting the like you know, drug dealers.
Yeah.
Loan sharks that are doing it on the streets, bookmakers, they're paying you. I mean, it was just an insane amount of money that was
Anthony,
coming
I'm going to be honest with me. Has anybody, and I want to move on from this, has anyone tried to make a pass at your wife that you found out?
So, this kid, the kid Joey Bazil, I told you that he testified at the grand jury. He's the one that goes over my house when I get. He stayed away from me. He was going to get killed. He was supposed to be on the hit with me in New York.
Yeah.
He was a proposed member.
Yeah.
He backed out. He ran away.
Yeah.
So they were going to kill him, but it was just too much heat right now to kill him. You know, with all the murders.
So they were going to kill him because he backed out. You're not supposed to back out.
You're not supposed to do that.
Got it. And that's the guy that they wanted you to kill in New York when you shot him a couple of times in the car.
9 times he shot.
9 times in the car.
Right.
Upper.
Right. Yeah.
Got it.
So he backed out. Joey backed out. But when I get indicted for this death penalty case, he's the first one at my house.
Oh.
And I tell my wife, I go, did he leave you any money? I go, what the f*** you think he was doing there?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I go, so he shows up at my house. He doesn't go anywhere, but then he shows up, first person to come to my house, and he doesn't leave no money.
What would have been his fate if you were still on that top? Like
he would have got killed.
You was going to kill him.
Yeah, but he would have been on the back burner list. He wasn't on the front burner.
Got it.
Plus, if I tell you the deal that him and his scumbag brother pulled on me, you know, I made them multi-millions of dollars. I put them with the biggest developers in New York City and Connecticut.
Yeah.
They made tens of millions of dollars because of my connections. So they didn't know these guys.
Got it.
The VIP, Sammy,
I'm
the
familiar.
Connecticut guys, Kevin Sisti and all the Patsy, Scarpa and all those guys. I put them because we were going to buy $1 million club that they owned.
Got it.
I gave them 50% of the deal. So in other words, I was going to make $1 million commission, which I didn't have to give them nothing. I was going to make $1 million. 1.9, I charged 2.9 to those guys. I was going to give them two Bazil brothers scumbags half of that, $500,000. Plus, I was going to get 25% of a club that was going to do $400,000 a week. I was going to give them 12.5% of that because that's why I had the biggest, most vicious and lucrative crew.
Got it.
Because I shared the wealth. I passed it around.
Yeah.
Because I got 100 things going on. So that's
we
gonna
all
make
eat. We all eat.
We're all going to eat.
Got it.
But so now the deal fell through.
Hold on, let it back. That's hate. That's hate. That's hate. Oh, they did that. All right. I love that. So the deal fell through.
So the deal falls through.
Yeah.
The one we were going to do the real. But now they know all my guys. I introduce them. Now I go to prison. Next thing you know, I come home, and this is public records. One deal, they made $4.3 million on one deal. So I come home, I go, you think I deserve anything from that? You guys didn't know that. Who goes, oh yeah, you do, but you should get it on their end. Why should I get it on their end when you're the ones that made the score here with the real estate guy here? Carabetta was the biggest real estate developer in the country. He was selling off all of his property.
Yeah.
So they were lowballing him and then highballing New York.
Got it.
You know, so it was like they were making huge scores.
Gotcha.
He didn't give me a penny. That's why he deserved to die for that right there alone. But there was so much heat on me.
He's alive?
Yeah, the kid.
Okay.
There was so much heat back then. It was when I got out in 08. I was 24/7 surveillance.
Got it.
Everywhere I went, I had the New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Mass, state police, FBI, launching investigations into me.
Let's go. Tell me about Bruno.
Yeah. So this was a legendary restaurant right here. Seriously.
Okay, this was.
All the mobsters came. All the old mobsters from New York. This isn't now, but back then it was called Cyril's.
Cyril's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
nice brick.
So all the like Fat Tony Salerno, all the mafia bosses used to come here and eat. All the time, back in in the 80s, 70s.
Good. Let's walk down so we won't step on ice. I don't want you to slip up.
So this is the Italian section. That's the church. I went to school there in Mount Carmel.
Okay, Mount Carmel.
That's
Okay.
the church, you know, I got married at. That's all the Italians who go there.
Okay.
This is the Italian, was Italian. This was all Italians.
All
That's where
Italians.
I grew up, all Italians.
Got it.
You know, there's coffee shops, pastry shops.
Got it.
There was 3 Italian clubs. This is one, the Mount Carmel, but there was one down that street, Assunta, for the Calabrese Italians, down Assunta, and then that one over there was called Our Lady of Grace. We had 3 feasts here, and that's just down here. There was like several other clubs throughout the city.
Got it.
West Springfield had Italian clubs.
Got it.
So this is where we had the feast. You can see the poles up here, the Italian poles.
I see it. Okay,
So
shout out to
we
the
were
Italian
having a
Pro.
feast here. So there would be hundreds of guys hanging around on this corner.
Really?
This was the south end. So further down, when I was a kid, in my 16, 17, right? 17, we hung around that corner down there. We were the
Got
young
it.
kids. Then across the street, they were probably 20, a little older than us.
Got it.
Then further down, there was guys a little bit older than them. And I'm talking 100 guys per corner.
Got
Then
it.
you come down here, this was more the immigrants hanging around Ciro's, people coming from the restaurants,
Got
older
it.
Italians. Then this is all like the Italians, club. So there was hundreds and hundreds of Italians, heavily populated.
Tell me, so real quick,
Yeah.
Bruno's death hurt you, even though you tried to hide it.
Right. I don't want to see, I have my own enemies that I wanted to kill.
Yeah, and I could tell that it hurt you.
Yeah.
And I just need to know the relationship with Bruno, because when I watch you talk about Bruno, even though you got to be a cool guy, I could tell that Bruno's death really bothered you, and I want to know about Bruno, the relationship, and why did he have to go?
Bruno wanted to kill the same people I wanted to kill. All the people that I wanted to kill, the Manzis, he wanted to kill Fusco, the same people that I was trying to kill, he wanted to kill.
Got it.
Now, if you see them today, they're friends with his kids. They're like, your father hated these fucking weasel Manzi kids, and the family. They got chased out of Italy. They were gonna, they got shot at. They got chased out. The gangster was the guy Tony. He was a gangster, Tony Manzi. The other ones are bullshitters.
Got it.
So Bruno hated them. And so this is the club that we all hung around.
It's a church now?
No, it's a club. It's still a Italian club.
Still a club?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a family business?
No, it's Italian, for the people to come that if you're Italian, you join the club.
Really?
Yeah, they play cards in there.
Oh, a club, not a club party, a club.
No, a club.
Like a golf club, like a club.
Yeah, like an Italian club, social club.
Social club, got it.
So, this is my in-laws used to own this place right here.
Your in-laws, your wife's...
My wife's family, mother and father. It was called Zonin. It's the best sausage there was.
Okay, boy.
So this was like my hangouts. I used to go up there on the top, have meetings up there.
Got it.
It was nice because you could look out the window to see if there was any feds.
Top of
around.
here, right here, this one.
Yeah, right up there.
Got it.
And this is the night that my brother-in-law, my wife's sister's husband went missing.
Yeah.
I had my car parked here. I didn't take it home
Where?
that night.
Where you parked
Right
it?
here. So right where this truck is.
Okay.
So I didn't take it home that night. My guys dropped off.
Yeah.
And then the next day, because they knew he was murdered, that next day he was gone. They were all over there doing fingerprints, looking inside the club. They didn't know if he was in the car. They didn't know if he was inside the car, maybe.
Where did he get killed at?
Where?
Where?
Well, Agawam. It's like about a 10-minute. It was right over the bridge.
Oh, so you
15-minute ride.
You lured him.
We lured him over there at a stash house where we had my guns, my marijuana, my partners in the marijuana business. One of the guys lived there, old man, and we lured him there under pretense that he was going to rob the house.
Rob the place.
Right.
Got it. What made you? Why did you?
I used to live in that house right there when I got married. First got married.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I lived. It was like totally different back then. It was Italians everywhere.
Why did you have to? Before we get to Bruno, did you have to kill your wife's sister's husband?
I didn't have to know.
But why did you kill him?
So my guys, we found out that because I was going to kill him before when he started dating my wife's
sister.
Well, we were going to kill him in the 90s. He had a case with Freddie on a hijacking truck case.
Yeah.
Freddie thought he was going to turn on him with him out of the way. Freddie could have beat the case, so we were going to kill him that night.
Yeah.
What happened was my guy Louis went to his house and his girlfriend answered. So we had to call it off because the girl would have said Louis came and now we killed him. We were going to dump him on the side of the road.
Got it.
So anyways, they got 4 years for that. They come out. Now he starts dating my wife's sister. The family's going crazy. I was right here one night. I go in there. The father talks broken English, telling Anthony, this son of a bitch, you're supposed to keep this guy away from my daughter. He doesn't respect you either. Blah, blah, blah. They were just bothering me. So I said, Michael, who was the boss's grandson, Skyball Chevelle's grandson, was there. I said, Mike, drive me tonight. I'm going to shoot this guy. We made up a plan.
Just like that?
Just like that. Freddie took him out. When they were 10 minutes from eating dinner, Freddie was going to beat me. And when he came out of the restaurant, I was going to blast him.
Yeah.
But the problem was, his car was parked in the front. He had a Porsche.
Got it.
I thought it was parked in the back parking lot.
Got it.
They were going to have to walk to the parking lot.
Got
Not
it.
thinking he was parked. We seen him walk out, and I go, all right, Mike, start creeping up with the car. And as soon as he started creeping up, they went into this parking spot, and it's a Porsche. By this time, Freddie's already in the car by the time we pull up. So I would have had to shoot into the car to shoot him. So I didn't shoot it. We called it off. And then after that, he ended up staying with the family. Accepted him. The mother accepted him into the thing. And I said, I wash my hands with it. You know, I don't want the guy around my house. I don't want him too close to me. But then we find out he's an informant. And not only is that, he's trying to put us in prison. He's trying to, ruin our lives.
How did you find that out?
We had a good inside with, that's another thing we had. We had the older guys. This one came from an older mobster in West Springfield, told Freddie.
Got it.
And we had a lot of law enforcement contacts back then.
Got it.
From the older people.
Got it.
That would, send word, watch out for this guy.
Got it.
Give him a heads up in a certain way, blah, blah, blah. But come to find out, he wasn't an informant.
He wasn't?
No, he was.
Oh, he wasn't?
Yeah. So,
how did you find, so it was on the fence before you killed him, but after you killed him?
No, we knew he was an informant.
Okay.
But at the same time, it was confirmed afterwards during trials that yes, he was an informant.
So who did he put in jail?
He was an informant, so he was given information.
Ah,
there's difference. So informants don't have to testify either.
Got it.
And there's a lot of guys, when you were going back to that question when you said about cooperators, a lot of guys cooperate, but everybody pleads guilty. So the guy says, well, I never testified against anybody. It doesn't matter. They pled guilty because you were going to, if they didn't take the plea, they had you to testify.
Did you like the guy at all?
No, I didn't like him.
You didn't like? So
I warned him. I was on wiretaps warning him. I said, I warned him 3 times, stay away. He goes, I know. I'm gonna. And then next thing you know, they got married. He ended up getting married to her.
Oh, so that day so you found out he was an informant. Was it did he see it coming?
I think he knew right away.
He knew it was over?
I think, what do you mean?
Did he
actually
did he see it coming? Did he see, when you lured him to the house, did he know that it was over? Or was it two behind the head?
He got there? Oh, no. So no, it was a bad murder. It was like, the 2 brothers got him there. And if I wasn't there with Emilio, he probably would have never died because they shot him 7 times and the fucking, they were still fighting with him when we came out of the garage. We had to hit him with shovels.
You had to beat him with shovels?
Yeah.
So
and then,
what type of gun y'all shot him with?
He had a silencer. And he shot him, he emptied the silencer in him. Because, they were walking around, we're in the garage, we see the car pull in.
Yeah.
Then I hear the car's door shut, we hear footsteps.
Yeah.
So they're walking around the house, saying, the Westerman, he's the guy that got killed, was in front of the guy Ty with the gun.
Got it.
Then I can hear the steps going quicker, and I hear, ow, ow, and Ty's firing him from behind.
Okay,
so he's shooting at him from behind, and he hits him like 7 times. So when we come out of the garage, they're still wrestling with him.
Did he see you?
I'm sure he does.
He doesn't say anything to you?
No, he didn't say anything. He was just, getting beaten and then we drag him to the hole. And that's when I had Freddie, make sure, because I don't want to see him get buried alive. He had a pole already dug. So I said, Freddie, shoot him. Freddie had another gun. I said, shoot him in his head. Freddie's not shooting him. He's hesitating. And I'm saying, shoot him in his head. And then I had to say it 3 times. I said, give me the gun. And that's when Freddie went bang and shot him in the head.
And he wasn't, but do you think...
He was dead, but just to make sure.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, Bruno. Let's go.
Bruno got killed right here.
Okay.
They found he got shot right there.
Where, by the gate?
Yeah.
Oh man.
His truck was parked right here. The shooter was back there in the where that whatever that is.
Yeah, gazebo.
The gazebo.
Yeah.
So the shooter, Bruno's truck was parked right here.
Yeah.
And where that yellow cone is, that's where his body was, where that thing was. So the shooter came out. He seen him come out. Frankie Roach, dangerous individual. He wasn't no crackhead. They say he was a crackhead. The dude could do 25 sets of 20 pull-ups. The guy was built like, when they arrested him, they shot him. So when he came to court, he looked skinny and everything. Oh, he's a crackhead dude. I was with prisoners with the blacks, the Spanish, every one of them said that dude was no joke. Had mad respect for him. So Frankie comes out, says, Al, I heard you're looking for me. And Al goes, had a cigar in his hand, mouth, smoking. He said, yeah, buddy, what's up? And Frankie pulled the gun out, shot him 6 times. Killed him instantly right there. His body was laying.
DOA.
Yeah.
So why did Bruno have to die?
We were talking about the 302s and cooperating. Bruno spoke with an FBI agent. So Bruno wasn't going to die. I told you the Genovese family, that Artie was a scumbag, and he had the informant around him, John Bologna.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over this area.
Got
and
it.
Bruno was the boss.
Got it.
They wanted to take Bruno and demote him to soldier.
Got it.
So that's all that was going to happen. They were going to break him his rank. Okay? But what happened was, in the midst of all this, when they were going to tell him you're no longer boss, it was in that time frame, a paper comes out and services that Bruno talked to an FBI agent and gave him information on who's made guy. The guy ended up getting more time because of it. Told him, it was a bad 302 report. It's a report. 302s are reports.
Got it.
If you talk to an FBI agent, if you ever do in the future, they write everything down and they put it in a report. It's called 302.
Got it.
So that came out. Now the paperwork surfaces here. They bring it down to New York, and that's what now Artie's got the ammunition now to get rid of him. And that's what they wanted all along, but this time they got to kill him. That's how they're going to get rid of him instead of taking him down.
Yeah.
And back then, that's how it was. It was no joke. Like people think like when something like that happens, you die. The mafia, you had to kill to get in, and when a paper like that surfaces,
they wanted you to kill Bruno, right?
No, so I pled guilty to killing him, but that's not how it happened. The paper comes out. Emilio Fusco's a made guy. He gets the paper. He gets into a beef right in this coffee shop with Al Bruno.
Right here?
Yeah. Right inside there. Okay. They have an argument. I'm going to get an extra year because you talked to the feds.
Yeah.
They have a beef. No, they're taking it. No. But it's in black and white.
Got it.
Emilio takes the paper. He shows me, but he also shows this other gangster, Felix. Drink easy. Felix calls up New York, talks to the guy, John, who's an informant.
Yeah.
Tell Artie, who's the boss, that Bruno's a rat. Artie calls for Felix, not me. Now, don't forget, I'm a made guy. I'm ahead of Felix. I'm the guy with all the power.
Yeah.
He calls for Artie calls for Felix to bring the paper down.
Got it.
Artie brings the paper down. Then he calls Felix back again. At this meeting, he was with the bosses. That's when they say, kill Bruno. Felix comes back. Who got the order? Felix. I don't take orders from Felix. I'm with the bosses in New York City. They give me the orders.
Yeah.
I shot the guy in New York. They love me there.
Yeah.
I shot him for the bosses in New York.
Yeah.
You don't give me orders, Felix. They told you to kill him, so you kill him. I got my own people I want to kill. You kill him. And so that's what happened. And then a couple of weeks went by. He wasn't. And then meanwhile, we're trying to kill so many other people. I pled guilty to conspiracy to murder other people at this time. And then my brother-in-law went missing at this time. While we're supposed to, the Bruno order came out, we killed my brother-in-law. So, and when I say brother-in-law, that was my wife's sister, no relation to me.
No relation.
He wasn't close with me. I didn't give a about him. So, I feel bad for his family. I wish I didn't do it. I wish I didn't partake in it. But that's just, if I died, he wouldn't have cared either. So Felix wasn't capable of killing Bruno. Then I finally get sent down to New York to talk to Artie. I'm not even supposed to know about the murder. When you talk about murder, no one's supposed to know unless the guys you're doing it with.
Got it.
How did I even know about it? Felix is supposed to come back and kill Bruno. I'm not even supposed to know. Like if I originally got the order to kill Bruno, I wouldn't have told Felix. I would have came back, got whoever I was going to kill him with. We would have did it, and everybody else would have woke up not knowing who did it. Now, that's how I should have woke up that day, not knowing who killed Bruno, because I didn't get the order until they couldn't get it done, and then I got called down to participate and get it done. And I was told, don't get involved directly. You know, have these other guys, you know, do it, don't get involved directly, and try to make the body disappear. And that's how I was told.
Would you have killed Bruno? If they told you?
You know, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think Bruno was going to die. I didn't think it was going to happen. I had my own guys that I was viciously hunting to kill, right?
We're going to talk about that when we go sit down. Yeah, the guy that shut your house up.
Right. So that's who I'm looking to kill. And I didn't think, and my whole thing was, my way out of it was I never got told directly to kill him. That's first. Number two, right? He's too hard of a guy. You can't get him.
What do you mean? Because you said he had eye surgery, so he
had eye surgery, but he's too hard. Everywhere he goes, he's got this old guy Fitzy he's with. He's always in public spaces. We can't get him anywhere to make.
Who's old guy Fitzy? Is he a tough one?
No, he was just a guy that hung around, legitimate guy. Bruno used to have him around, drive around with him, you know, things like that. Nice guy, good guy.
So Bruno's children. Bruno had children. He has children.
He has 4 boys with his wife and then 1 with his mistress.
And so
in fact, his son owns a restaurant right here at the corner. It's called Ciro's 2 right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. I talked with his son. That son. The other son I don't talk to.
Are they mad at you? Do they think that you're?
Of course. I get the blame for it all. You know.
And you have no reason to lie. You saying?
I haven't. Listen, my story would be better if I say, yeah, I took out the boss. People go with that. People lie, go on YouTube and lie about stories and say they did that they didn't do. I could be saying that. I'm telling you the opposite. Yeah. Like, I didn't want to see that happen. I didn't want this to happen.
Because you said Bruno knew your father. Bruno knew your
I'm cousins with him. My mother and him were like cousins on my mother's side.
What?
Yeah. I don't want to see, like, when it come down to it, like, if it was like Bruno, put it this way. If I got told directly, I would have to kill Bruno. That's how that life is. If he got told to kill me, he'd kill me. That's just how it goes, yeah. And he told my father when I got caught with the marijuana, he was going to leave me for dead on my steps. He told my father that when I got caught for the marijuana back in the 90s. Because you're not supposed to deal with drugs.
Do you think that there's anybody that would go against the order for people that they no? Is there any known story of somebody going against the order?
Well, if they did, like, they would have to go to, they're putting themselves out there. So they would have to go into hiding, or they would have to, like, my uncle went against the order. He killed himself instead of killing his friend. My uncle Danny, back in the 70s, was told to kill Whitey Tropiano. He was with Murder Inc. out of Connecticut. Mm-hmm. My uncle Danny, Raymond Patriarca, who was a serious, legendary boss, the old man wanted Whitey Tropiano dead. My uncle got the hit order. He wouldn't do it. Christmas Day, he took his Christmas Eve, he killed himself. Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, one of them days. In my aunt's cellar, because he wouldn't have killed him.
But did his best friend end up dying?
And they ended up killing him in New York. Like 2 years later, they got him on the streets of New York.
So, do we know anybody that denied the order and survived? Any known stories of somebody like he didn't?
I'm sure there is people that get orders. Sometimes, they can't get it done, and they say, "All right, we're going to get you off, and we're going to put another team on it." Things like that might happen.
Got it.
But when you get told to kill,
and you don't do it,
do it. Eventually, like if it's a high profile, like Castellano, like they didn't care where he was. Manhattan, downtown Manhattan streets, kill him. Make sure he puts something in his head too, and he's dead. Things like that. That's just like a suicide mission. They're so lucky they got out of there. Manhattan, shooting a guy like that in Christmas time. Come on.
So, question: why you didn't tell Bruno though? Like,
I could never tell him. I could never. I was gonna try to, give him a heads up in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
But I could never trust him by telling him, because I know it would have happened. Bruno has a lot of connections with Mario Gigante, past, like with a lot of the old timer. No, don't forget, Bruno was around since the 70s,
Yeah.
If I told him, and he went down there and told, say, Patsy DeLuca, because Pat didn't even know. Pat, the sons called Pat up and said, "My father got killed." Pat was like, "No, what?" Like he went to Artie. They killed Bruno. Like he didn't know nothing, and he was a fucking supposed to be boss in New York. Yeah. He was a captain.
Yeah.
So you don't know, what was it? What would you just asking me?
I was asking you that why you didn't tell Bruno.
Oh yeah, So if I tell him and he goes down there now and he says to, the kid just came up to me and says they're going to kill me. New York ordered to kill me.
Yeah.
Now don't forget, Bruno don't know Artie's the boss.
Oh.
Right? So what if he went down there and told them that? They're going to know I said something,
And then
right?
they tell Bruno to kill you?
No, they wouldn't do that, but they would kill me. They'd call me down there and they would have chopped me up. I would have went down to New York, believe me, they would have never found my body.
How you became a made man?
So I got proposed like in 93, 94 by the Springfield faction of the Genovese family, Bruno, Skyball, Schiavelli, and proposed means that there's a piece of work to do, you're going to go on it, and when the book's open and they're ready to make guys, you're going to become a made guy. During that time, I got arrested for marijuana at my house in 96, so they wanted to kill me now. I went from being a made guy to maybe kill someone else. Now I'm going to be the one getting killed because there's a no policy. They don't like drugs, especially the Genovese family. So it's a rule. You can't deal drugs, even though it was marijuana.
How do you make money off of extortion only?
No. Gambling, sports gambling, casino type gambling, loan sharking, extortions in ways where, street extortions, people pay rent, bookmakers, other loan sharks, all various legitimate businesses, the garbage industry, all legit. That's why it's organized crime.
Yeah,
like a lot of legitimate businesses.
Yeah.
The sports is a big one, loan sharking.
No drugs.
How's that? The music?
Yeah, good, great,
Perfect.
great. Thank you. Nice. It's okay. Yeah. You still cool? Yeah.
Kendra might swing by in a second just to grab you some water.
Okay, sure.
And then when you guys are all set, talk to her, talk to me.
What's your name again?
Up front. I'm Corey.
Corey, can you tell the people where we at? Where are we, Corey?
We're in Crown Room number 2 here at Max Tavern in Springfield,
Tavern.
Mass, bro.
Thank you very much,
Absolutely.
bro. I appreciate you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
We're not live streaming.
No.
No, we're not live streaming. No, Corey. Pre-recorded.
This is my friend Kendra.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra.
Okay.
Hey,
Sure.
some water maybe
Some
right
water,
now?
please. Thank you. Can I have a lemonade, please, Kendra?
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Yeah. You want something?
Yeah, I'll have a drink after when we're
Water? Yeah. So, tell me, main guy.
So, I was proposed in the 90s, and then I got brought back in after I beat the marijuana case in 98. Bruno came out of prison. He owned a restaurant not far from here, like maybe 2 minutes. And he called me down. He was on a halfway house type pre-release. So he could go to his restaurant and work. He called me down there. He said, hey, brought me downstairs and said, do I want to come back around him? Am I all done selling the drugs? Which I wasn't. I was still drugged, selling large amounts of marijuana. And so he wanted to go, we formed a thing. I was going to come back around. He was going to put me back on record. Me and him were going to go partners in the sports and the loan sharking, everything else that we did. And I came back around in 98. When I came back in 98, I met so many people in those 2 years, all wise guys throughout Rhode Island, Boston, New York, MAID members, captains, that were all messing around with marijuana. In fact, when Bruno brought me back around, I was meeting guys. We were pretending that we were just meeting for the first time, and I've been out to dinner with them dozens of times, sold them hundreds of pounds of marijuana, and we were just making believe that we're meeting for the first time. We don't want Bruno to know that the relationship we have. So I start going to New York more. I start meeting the bosses there. I start getting more. They start coming up here. They start noticing me more. I had the largest crew, the most vicious crew. I had the most lucrative crew. Everyone around me was a millionaire in my crew. I made millionaires out of all these guys. And so they start noticing me more. So in 2003, when there was a beef between the Lucchese family and the Genovese family, they wanted me to shoot the union boss and kill him on the streets of New York. And we went down and shot him 9 times. Because of that hit, that's how I got made in New York City, in the Bronx.
I thought that before you make a hit, both parties are supposed to agree. Both families are supposed to agree on the hit.
When you say...
I thought... So you said...
There was a beef between the Lucchese's and the Genovese, but the people that gave the order were the Genovese family. We don't have to get permission from nobody.
Really? So it's a rumor that... So for some reason, I thought that if you want to kill somebody in another family...
He wasn't in another family. He was a union guy. He was doing business with the Genovese, but then he was also doing business with the Lucchese's. He wasn't supposed to. It was a Genovese guy. And
Got
then there
it.
was a personal beef between him and Artie. Again, Artie. They got into some beef about Tony Bennett tickets on top of that. And Artie wants to
Tony
kill him.
Bennett, yeah.
You know, on top of that, he wants to, to kill this guy. And on top of that, he wants us to come down from Springfield, Mass, which you drove up here today. 2.5 hour drive. We got to go there. We got to wake up at 2:30 in the morning, drive down with silencers, 3 guns, 3 of us, drive down there, park on the streets of New York, wait for this guy to come out of his apartment building, and then shoot him on the streets of New York, and then get back home 2.5 hour drive away.
Where did he live?
Near Gunsmith Road, or what's it? Gun
Hill Road.
Gun Hill Road near there.
It was in the Bronx.
Bronx, yeah. It was in the Bronx we shot him.
So,
Near Gun Hill Road. It wasn't exactly Gun Hill Road, but it was
tell
that
me.
exit.
So the union guy did that, and then they told you where he was going to be. How many attempts did you guys make to take this guy out?
So the first time we went down just to see where he goes, and to make sure that the car they showed us was his. You
Put over here, yeah, of course.
and you don't have to rush. I'm gonna have a Bombay Sapphire Martini with 1 olive, extra dry. You don't have to bring it quick. Take your time and whatever.
Thank you so much.
And if you do want tomorrow, I'll leave you a little jug too.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. There's some orange. And 1 olive, just said Bombay.
Yeah,
Sapphire.
1 olive. Yeah,
There you go.
appreciate it.
What you saying?
So what were we saying?
You went down there to go see.
Oh, so the first time we did it, it was a dry run. We didn't have no guns, and we just wanted to see, because Artie personally told me where this guy comes out of his house, his apartment on that road. Him and John Bologna. Now, John Bologna's not even a mate guy, so he's involved with a murder now, and he's an informant, by the way. Right? We were told he's an informant. Not at this time. Later on, I got told he was an informant after this hit. So we go down there just to make sure that that's his car, that he goes to his car. He comes out every day like clockwork, 6 in the morning. So we posted up at 5:30. As we get there the first day, we're driving by right around that time, and sure enough, he's coming down the street walking. I go, there he is right there. If we had guns, it would have been the perfect, get out of the car, shoot him, and leave him there, and we could have just took off. But we didn't have it. It was just a dry run. So then we go down there the next night, or it was either next night or the next couple nights, and same thing. We got to drive down there 2:30 in the morning. We parked. This time we parked in the car, and I said, let's leave the guns underneath the car on the outside. Underneath. Cops pull up. What are you guys doing here? We're waiting for some girls. They told her to meet us on this block, and this, we were out, But he never comes out of his house that day. So then it took us the third time. This time I had Freddie drive down with the silencers ahead of us in a real car. No, in the getaway car that we were going to use for the shooting. And I took my mother's car. Me and Ty drove down there. We parked, picked up Freddie at the hotel, drove to the Bronx. Me and Ty got out and sat on the bench. Freddie parked down the street. Me and Ty were the shooters. And so we're just waiting for him to come out on the bench across the street. So we're sitting here on the bench. He's going to be coming out diagonally from us on our right, about 150 feet away. His car's parked across. He's got to walk across the street to get to his car. And so we're waiting for him to come out.
Why did you shoot him so many times?
It wasn't that it wasn't done intentionally. What just happened is we just rushed to the car. He happened to get into the car right as we approached it, and we just started shooting into the car. First shot blew out the window, and just shot him up in the car.
It was on the news.
It was what?
It was on the news, right?
So we looked in the papers the next day. There was nothing, nothing about it. We didn't hear anything. We got word the next day that he was in the hospital. He was gonna die. He was in critical, life support, and he was gonna die. And then he made a miraculous recovery after that. But
So he didn't die?
he ended up not dying. No, it's 9 shots, and all the shots hit him from the chest up. In fact, 2 of the bullets are still in him.
Wait, he's alive right now?
Yeah.
You spoke to him?
I never spoke to him, but there was so the prosecutors did on that case, the Southern District case, the prosecutors did a podcast called Up Against the Mob. Ellie Honig, who's on CNN, he's an analyst for them, he did a podcast, and during that podcast, it's just audio,
and it's a 7-part series. He came on that podcast to speak, about what happened that night. He tells you exactly what the story I just told you. He says it, but on his view now, how he pretended he was dead. Because when we left him, his mouth was open, blood. He pretended he was dead. He barely got out of his car. He made it to his window. He's yelling to his wife, "Hey, hey!" She heard him. Good thing she heard him. I got shot, and he collapsed. That's when he just collapsed on the street. Ambulance came, and that's what saved him.
You feel bad?
I don't feel, again, like I wish it didn't happen. That's what I wish. I wish it didn't happen. I wish I was, how you say it, I didn't get involved it was no way you could not get involved as deep as you could back then with the Mafia. I was Italian. I was entrenched with it. This whole Western Mass area, which isn't talked about enough, Connecticut was entrenched with Mafia. So it was at that time frame that, you couldn't just not, if you were a street guy gangster, it would take a lot for you to say, the Mafia, I'm not going to have anything to do with it. And for them to ask us, we did so much violence, bad violence, other shootings and knife fights and fights our whole life, that asking us to shoot somebody is like asking us to go to dinner. It was like a nothing thing. So, for me to say, and then when I look back now, I can tell you I wish it didn't happen, but
You don't feel bad?
I don't feel bad because that's like, I know if I get a bullet in my head tomorrow, no one's going to feel bad for me. Maybe my kids, that's it. And who's going to feel bad for him, his wife, and maybe his kids. We chose to be involved in that life, and that's what comes with it, especially back then.
But even now, you're saying that, like, if you get a bullet in your head, it is what it is?
It is what it is. I'm back here. This is where I grew up. I'm back here in my hometown with all the enemies I had then, I still have now. All these guys that, I wanted to kill then, doesn't mean we're friends now. I still want to, kill them. I'm never going to, but that doesn't go away. It's just... if I came back here, my kids are here. I came back for my kids, first and foremost. I'm not going to go hide here or go here.
Here's my problem, though, and I'm going to keep it real. You still got some of that stuff in you, and I'm going to tell you why. You described the story about the man that shot your house on the show, and you kept emphasizing how much of a coward he is and how lucky he is.
Well, he didn't shoot my house. He had somebody shoot my house.
Yeah, but you keep emphasizing how much of a coward he is, how lucky he is to be alive.
Yeah, he is lucky. I pled guilty. We had him 4 different times. Machine gunned his car down the downtown area. We had a guy waiting for his house in back of his restaurant in this hatchway that he had, like where he kept all of his stuff. We had a guy posted up there. I pled guilty in federal court to conspiracy to murder him. So he's very lucky, and we're capable of killers. So it's just he was very careful and paranoid. He wouldn't go anywhere. He was, one time somebody said a story that somebody came by his restaurant and a car backfired, and he was like one of those guys that's so scared. We used to call him cacazote because he would that means your pants in Italian. He jumped out of his shoes. When he heard the noise, pow, like that. That's how, he was petrified.
Tell me the beef that started between you and him. How was it? Where did it start from? How long did you know him for?
So this family, I helped this kid. They came over here. They were dirt poor. They got chased out of Italy. When I say dirt poor, they were living in the worst section on Belmont Avenue in an apartment. Him, his sister, and his brother, and the mother were... I think the mother was coming back and forth from Italy, right? The father was in prison in Italy. He was a real gangster, killer.
He was a tough guy.
He was the guy. But the family, he wanted his family out of there. He told his family to flee to America because there was a war going on in Naples between the Grazianos and the Cavas. Like 50 people got killed. And so you couldn't help not being involved. It's a small town, so he got his family out of there. When he came here, they were piss poor. The kid. I was just getting out of prison in 91. In fact, I was around the father. The father was a good dude, a gangster, legitimate gangster. I liked him. He reminded you of like a Gotti type. Carried the gun. He wasn't with these guys here, and he was one of those type guys.
Was he part of any crew or anything?
In Italy, he did time here in the 80s for cocaine, right? And then they deported him in the after that. So he made some contacts in the Boston area with gangsters. He made some contacts with the New York factions, things like that. But the father did, the other guys.
Got it.
So when I came here, I started blowing up in the marijuana business, and I put his son on. And I will give it to them. They're very good hustlers. They have that
They get
the
to it.
gift. They can hustle, salesman type.
Got it.
Hey, but they're hustlers. Immigrants from other countries come here. They hustle harder than the Americans, and they had that gift to do that. Anyways, I would get marijuana fronted. I would front it to him. I'd front him 100, 200 pounds at a time. So here's a kid that ain't got nothing, living in like a $300 apartment with his family, and he owes me like $200,000-300,000 at a time for marijuana that I'm helping him out.
How did you meet him?
Oh, we all know each other.
From the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like you ain't Italian in Springfield without knowing who everybody is.
Got it. Okay. So get it to me.
So I got him started with the marijuana, and to his credit, he was good. Like, we worked good. I'd give him 100 pounds. He always paid me. He was a cheap bastard. Cheap, like he'd owed me 20,000. It'd be, if you didn't count it, there'd be 19,920. Short you like $80. Like, dude, why are you always saying, if it's 20, give me the 20,000? Does it all the time. He's so cheap. He doesn't even pay his waitresses at his restaurant. They got to beg for their money. That's how cheap. So, anyways, he always paid me. I always got my money. So what happened? We were close, but then a rivalry. He started getting better connections, so I had to get better connection. He would approach some of my customers because I gave him all the customers. I didn't care.
Yeah.
If I'm giving you 200 pounds and I'm making $400 a pound, I'm making 80,000. You're gonna go sell it. You won't meet him. Plus, I got my own customers and my own business going on here. But then he'd get a better price, so I'd have to come down on his price. I had all the connections, But then he started, I was dealing with Jamaicans out of New York, the ones that were chopping them people up. I was dealing with
Shower posses,
Mexicans and Colombians. And the Jamaicans love me. They were at my house. I get along great with them. And so I had all kinds of Jamaican. I had like 20 Jamaican contacts in the marijuana business. Guys, Flash. I had this other guy was Benji that was bringing it back from Atlanta, and he was a truck driver and all of that. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
So and we'll be good for a while, for a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you so
problem. I'll
much.
pop back in.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So anyways, me and him get along, and he was a snake, but he was a good snake because he was making me lots of money, right? What happened was he never went to prison. He was a great talker, but not like my guys. My guys were not talkers, and they were the true
Tough.
deal. So we all went to prison. That's one thing we all had in common. I went to prison at 20. My Ty went to prison at 18. Serious state prison. We were acting wild in there. Ty beat up guards. I mean, bad. Did 5 years of full time. So he comes out, gets caught again in something, and ends up going back doing another 4 years, beats up more guards. They beat him up. He does more whole time. So he comes out in 01. Now they hate the Manzies with a passion. They hate him, not me. I'm making money with him. I don't like the kid Manzi, but I'm making money with him.
Oh, you don't like him because
He's
short?
a snake. Not because he's short. He's a snake.
Weasel.
He'd go up to my customer. I'm making $1,000 a pound, selling the guy 20 pounds a month. He goes up to him and shortcuts him. I'm selling you the weed. You're going up to my customer. So I tell him, don't go near my fucking customer. I'm making $1,000 a pound.
Okay, got it.
Oh, I would never do that. He's one of these. I would never do that. I never would touch your guys. No, I will never do that. He does it again the next week. I said, next time you do it, I'm going to shoot you. That's how it would come to. And so, so when I say my guy, I made a lot of money with him, So, and then, so we started he started getting more contacts, but I was still making money with him. These guys, Freddie and Ty, the two brothers, the one that killed Whitey Bulger, they hate his guts. So they're going to his restaurant, breaking his windows, going to his house, telling all of his friends, his crew, that he's a rat, he's a piece of in which there is numerous accounts of, of course, that he's an informant.
But is there any proof?
There's no black and white proof. There is. Some people have some things on him that were at the street that he lived on. The informant lived on the same street. What a coincidence. But I'll tell you how it was. So proof by suspicion. When I got arrested in the 90s for a pot case, I went to this lawyer.
Okay.
The lawyer tells me that he had good contacts with the DA. He says, if I represent you, let's just say you have a special guardian angel looking out for you. I go, so I was told you could get me probation for this. They came in my house, caught me with 40 pounds and some ammunition. How are you going to get me out of that? I didn't think I was going to get a life. It's a misdemeanor. Under 50 pounds in mass, it's a misdemeanor. Okay? That okay there?
Yeah, good.
So the lawyer says, you might have to give up some information. It's not going to come out. Like, tell them where there's some drugs or something like that. I go, so you're basically saying I'm going to kind of be a cooperate, right? Like, he goes, it's not like that. It's just they're going to help you. You give them, throw them a bone. I said, thank you. I left. I went to my other lawyer, Vinny Bongiorni, and he ended up beating the case for me because the informant of my case was double dipping, a rogue informant. So he was working for one agency and then selling drugs and cocaine and got caught with a gun by the state police. So he was working for the local narcotics but getting caught by the state police. So I ended up beating the case. But Manzi ends up getting the same pot case. He goes to the same first lawyer I went to and he retains him and keeps him. And that's his lawyer. So if the guy told me that, right, same thing, they raided his house and found pot. If the guy told me that, I'm sure he told him that, and he kept him. So, there's that as well. And so my guys came out. He's never done prison time, never done 1 day in prison. Everybody around him goes down. So there's a lot of suspicion out there, and there's more than that. His father, the gangster in Italy, told him, in America, this is how you got to do it. Because Bruno, we had the local DA here. The mafia killed my friend's father for the district attorney. Antonio Facenti was an Italian immigrant killer. He ended up killing a black drug dealer and got a life sentence because they were selling cocaine back in the 70s. The case got overturned because of the prosecutor was Irish and these guys were Italian immigrants. So there was some racial going on and they got overturned and got out of prison. When he got out of prison, he was giving the district attorney's daughter cocaine and having, an affair with the district attorney's daughter. U.S. attorney went to the mob and said, better put a stop to this. So they went to him, and this guy was crazy. He pulled a gun out on one of the serious mafia soldiers at the time, Skyball Schiavelli, and that's it. They ended up killing him, stuffed him in a trunk, boom.
So when he pulled the gun out, they killed him right then and there?
No, then they told him, you remember the movie The Goodfellas, when they told Tommy he was going to get made? And he walked into the room, and there was nobody in there, and they shot him in the head. It was something like that. They told him he was going to get made in a ceremony. He went down to the Italian club where we were just at, and they killed him there, in the cellar.
Why would he think that? How long ago? What was the time frame from when he?
70s.
What was the time frame when he pulled the gun out to getting murdered?
Shortly. But it was just like they get another guy to come up to you and they'll be like, we like you, you got the balls what it takes. That was ballsy what you did. You can't do that no more. We're gonna take you in. You got to act right though. These guys are gonna be your brothers. He was the type. He told him, listen, I don't need none of you fucking guys. My brother's coming from Italy and I'm starting my own crew. Because don't forget, he was involved in cocaine and like that. Back when he was in prison back in the 70s, because I did a lot of time too. They used to have their own guns inside prison. They were selling pounds of marijuana back then. And Walpole was the most dangerous prison in America. There was people getting killed there every week.
So, okay, so then, all right, so that happened. That guy dies, but then we still trying to get down to the fact of you and the guy.
The Manzi said, why? What happened with me and the Manzis with the beef?
Yeah.
So they hate him. So what happens is, and we were down in that area. That's where I was going to show you what happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to show you this. So they hate him. They're abusing him. The father calls me from Italy. Tony, please, your friends abusing my son. Please, those are my son. Tony, please, what? Make the peace there. Make sure. I go, Tony. I go, they don't like your son. Now I already had, these guys are like guys that I kill with. I said I'm gonna talk with them, but there is no talk with them. They hate this kid with a passion. So Tony, please see what you can do and blah blah blah. So it leads to that. Now and even the kid Manzi comes up to me and goes, I don't know what I can do. I gave this kid pot. He never paid me. I mean, he's abusing me. Like crying to me. Help me. With these guys. Ty mostly. So we're downtown in that area we were just at. I owned a bar restaurant called Cafe Manhattan. It was in that vicinity that we were at. And we get a call that one of Ty's, not our crew, worked at a bar down the street.
Yeah.
Those guys, Manzi's, went in there with like 10, 12 guys, and like they tried to beat him up. They threw a bottle at him. You know, he was bartending, the kid. He calls up Ty. I'm dressed up in a suit. There's like 20 of us at my bar restaurant. So we go down to the, it was right down the street. We walk down there, and they were already gone by that time. So we walk back to my restaurant. We get like 4 carloads of us. We go to the, they had a little bar that they owned, that one of the family members owned, the Manzi's. We went down there and we shot him 3 times, stabbed him, hit him with golf clubs. Big, huge thing, you know. Cops pulled up, but my guy Freddie got out of there with the gun. They didn't have no gun, and we luckily escaped. So that's, now I'm involved now. Now I'm in there hitting people with golf clubs. We shoot 3 of them. We stab them with ice picks. Now I'm there. So I'm like the guy they think is orchestrating all this now, because I wasn't even supposed to be there, but if I wasn't out that night, I'm not there. And then another thing is they robbed another cousin has $150,000 worth of pot. They took some pot from him, never paid him, took a gun, stuck it in his mouth, the kid pissed himself. And so they robbed the family member for $150,000. They never gave me a penny of that. You know who they gave $5,000 to? Bruno. So I never got a penny of that, but I'm getting the blame now that because they're my close guys. So they think like I'm the ones that's charging them up to go after him. 2 days later, that's when my house gets shot 25 times. So now it's an all. That night I was out with AK-47s, 4 carloads of us looking for him.
How do you know it came from him?
It came from the father, because that's how they do it in Italy. Like, the kid cries to his father, Dad, they did this, Dad. If people owed him money, he would have his father go to you owe money, and then put his father on the phone with you. And be like, the father would be like, hey, please, I need the money for my lawyers. Please pay my son the money. Plus, everyone knew the father was a killer, you know, and was, you know, not the son, the father.
But if you respected the father, why you didn't just listen to the father and or charge?
Because I didn't like the kid. The kid was a snake, and I did try to make, you know, like I'm making money with them. I tried everything in my power. One time they owed the kid money. I squashed it. You know, I tried as best as I can.
But when they did
to
at the
make
top,
peace,
when
but
they
there
did
was no. They hated him with a passion. They just hated him. Ty thought that he informed on him on the marijuana case and that he got arrested for in 96, 97-ish. So there was just no getting through to them. You know, they would listen to me, but I'm not their boss. Like, we're a crew.
Like brothers.
Yeah, like we're like, even like my guys, even if I'm a made guy, I don't consider you underneath me.
Got it.
If I go tell you I'm never going to tell you to shoot somebody. I'm going to say, well, we got to go shoot someone. You know, I'm going to go with you. I'm never going to tell you to beat someone up for me. I'm going to go with you.
Is that guy still around?
The Manzi? Yeah.
Have you seen him since you've been home?
I haven't seen him directly. You know, I seen him, but I work out 2 minutes from his restaurant.
Really?
In fact, I was going to walk you by where the uncle is. That, you know, that area right there, and the place that we shot up. If it was warmer weather, I would have walked you down the whole thing, showed you this is where that happened, that's where the fight happened, this is where they, you know, I pled guilty to that, and if it was earlier, they would have been in there too. So.
What?
Yeah, we would have walked by him. We could have won right in front of the joint. He would have looked out and had a heart attack.
What? Oh. Wait. Why don't you? Why do you feel that way though? Is it because he disrespected your house? Is it that like
Yeah, because listen,
my family's in there, you play with my house? Is that?
Yeah, I have more respect if he shot at me. But, you know, my wife and kids are in there.
Got it.
And here's the thing, they shot low. So if you know my house, I had a brick house. And then the windows were brick. They shot all brick. They didn't shoot through the house windows. That's number one. So the father told them to shoot, but make sure you don't, you know, shoot low. Or maybe they just shot low. Because that's what they do in Italy. That's why they left, they got chased out of Italy. Their house got shot up in Italy. You know, that's like, in Italy, they'll kill your family. In America, we don't do that.
So if you see him and he tries to talk to you, would you talk to him?
No. I mean, it's just.
If he
there's
apologized, what if he apologized to you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I got no beef with nobody. When I tell you that was then, I'm over that. Like, we're talking about it, so I have to tell you the story. But I have no issues with nobody. Somebody that in my past that I did wrong and they want to talk, or even me, if I did them wrong, I have no problems apologizing to them for, I'm not perfect. It was a life that we were in. It was a crazy life. It was sometimes
But the way you
kill or be
just,
killed.
but when I hear you talk about the story when it comes to him, you describe him with a lot of disgust.
Because he acts like a tough guy. Like, he tells people he's the one that, I shot the house. He does this. Oh, and then the patriarchal was going to look to make him in the Boston family. And he used to tell them, I did this in Italy, meaning I kill people in Italy. I did this in Italy. And he knows how to front in a good way. And then finally they started coming up. The bosses of the faction started coming up, and once they knew that they were serious and that there was shootings going on and they were going to use them to shoot, he ran away. When they came up, I'm the one that used to take all these guys out to dinner and hang around with them. I'm the one that went with them, and this kid, he goes, how come every time we come up, Joe's never at his restaurant? Joe's always, he's never there. We can't get a hold of him because he's scared. He knows you guys are serious and it's real, and when it becomes serious and real, Pakazo comes out.
Why did you plead guilty to Bruno's murder if you didn't do it?
Because it doesn't matter. If you're a driver, if the guy who gives the order, the guy who helps dig a hole, the guy who's the driver of the car, it's all conspiracy to murder. So, there was this one guy who was in prison when he did 30-something years, Mexican mafia boss. And he was going for parole, and he kept getting denied. And I said, Eddie, listen. He goes, yeah, but I didn't shoot the guy. I didn't kill him. Eddie, you killed him. You went in the house to rob him. Your partner shot him and killed him. You were there. When you go in there, you have to say, I'm sorry, I killed him. Get it to your head. You killed him. You didn't pull the trigger, but you murdered that man. You went in the house with him, and your friend did it. If you rob a bank and the guy's outside of the getaway car, he's the bank robber too. It's just how it is, and so that's just the way it is.
I don't know if you talked about this, but when you cooperated, right? What did you confess to?
Everything. All my murder conspiracies, my murders, my money-making schemes from my life, criminal history. And out of all that, I'd done business with this area. Everybody who's a somebody here I did business with since the 80s. Nobody went to prison here. Nobody went to prison here except the 3 guys that were involved in my murders.
Did you call their names? Did you have to give up their names?
Yeah, I told them to cooperate with me. They didn't. They wanted to roll the dice and take it to trial and maybe get out without doing any time. Hey, if that's the route you want to go, that's your decision. You're gonna have to live with it. I have to live with my decision. Tomorrow I get shot in my head. So who's better off? They're doing life and never getting out, and I'm dead. I'd rather be dead.
Why do you talk about them like that? Why do you say that type of line? Have they sent word back? Do they talk bad about you? Because the way you describe it, like, oh well, they made a dumb decision.
Right.
Or is that your defense mechanism? Because when you describe these guys, you say, oh, these guys are my friends.
We're not yes,
Not
they
them.
were my friends.
Okay.
The two brothers, but they would have killed me and I would have killed them.
Oh, it's like, okay, it's that type
That's
of
just how it is. You got no friends. If you think you got friends in that life, you're the idiot that's going to get.
But your uncle had friends. He didn't kill his friend.
That was in the 70s, and that's when it was his. That's what he did. He thought
His
that
principles.
guy was his.
I got it.
His friend, not enough to where he wasn't going to kill them. For me, I don't have a friend that existed in that life. Now, when I tell you, I think someone. It's unfortunate if someone, how many guys died and they didn't have to die, or they died under false pretenses. Some guys, they said that was maybe a rat, and they ended up finding out
He wasn't a rat.
My friend's father. I go to the restaurant all the time. He was a wise guy in Connecticut. They never found his body. He was hiding out the Colombo boss's brother, Alley Boy Persico, Carmen Persico's brother. They found him in the 80s. They captured him. They thought that this guy might have maybe gave him up. He never did. But they never found his body to this day. That's just how it is. And, there's no loyalty in that life. It's just who's more of a Machiavellian, dangerous has that fox mind and that lion to be able to survive better than the next guy.
So basically, you're remorseful for the things you did and the people you hurt, but you're not remorseful for those guys going to prison because you feel like, yo, I gave you a chance.
At first, I was torn.
Struck.
Like, you know, if I could have blown my head off when I was making this decision, I'm not saying I would have, but if I had a gun, it was like you're torn like that. I didn't want to do that. But, you know, the more I look back, yeah, that's just how I look at it. They were offered, I don't think anybody did what I did that cooperated. It'd be dumb enough to do what I did because I was the second on the indictment. I was the boss outside of New York. They want me. Like, I'm the John Gotti outside of New York that they want. And I'm going to tell them ahead of time that I'm going to, let's make a deal. They could have just used that information and made the deal themselves. And now I go to make the deal, and that deal's no longer on the table for me.
Understood.
So I was stupid to do that. So they had a chance to be out here sitting with us right now.
Was there anybody that you feared?
I never feared nobody. The only person that I would have to say that you had to be. So I fear. Here's who I fear. Those guys that are mentally unstable, that, you know, those schizophrenic paranoia types, and that's what Ty was. Ty was like one of them, like, he thought I was going to kill him all the time. Like, as badass as he was, and he's he's probably the top 10 dangerous guys in the federal prison system. I mean, this dude stabs people in their hearts, you know, like, he's 10 times more dangerous than his brother. I mean, he's that badass in a federal penitentiary. That's how, and he has that paranoid personality, schizophrenic, where he might think you're out to get him, and he's like, oh, he's trying to kill me. And he always thought that that's how I was. He could never figure me out. He always thought that there was a move with me. There was never a move with me. I tell him the truth. He goes, what's your thing? I go, dude, I'm telling you, yeah, if I'm talking with someone else, I'm gonna, you know, tell them a certain thing, keep them off guard, this and that. But me and you killed each other, so it's like kill with each other. It's like, you know, there is none of that with us. But he was paranoid. He was, you know, one of those type of deals. And those guys are dangerous. I was in prison with guys like that. When you have like that paranoid schizophrenic disorder, and you know, like a complex. You know, there's 3 guys over there, and they're talking about us. One of those types. Those, you know, and Ty was like that type, so you had to be on guard around him. As far as fearing, nah, you know, because obviously you can tell I'm out here and, you know, living my life in my city I grew up in, and that's now, and I'm not in the mob no more, so I still got all those same enemies, and I don't have the crew I had with me, you know, now. Even though I have quality now, I got quality people around me now.
Was there, you spoke about John Gotti earlier, and I appreciate you, you know, just shedding light and your transparency. The people were mad at him because of how he moved, right? But was it impossible to make a move on him, or they chose not to because he was either paranoid or because he moved with respect? He moved tough.
So there was definitely hits out on him. Our family, Genovese family, the guy I told you about, Bobby Manna, he's in jail. He died, but he got 100 years conspiracy to kill John Gotti Sr. They pled guilty to that. Our crew, the Genovese family and the Lucchese family, were actively trying to kill him. The Lucchese family, they blew up the car. He was supposed to be in that car when Frank DeChico got blown up in Brooklyn. So they were making moves on him. It's very hard to get a guy. Back then it was a lot easier because of the cameras that weren't like today. But still, when a guy's he's a killer to begin with, he's got a vicious crew around him, and he's got guys around him all the time, how are you gonna kill him? You're not, you know, the mafia gets away with murder so much because it's their friends killing their friends. It's like, come on, let's go to eat dinner. Get in the front seat, guy shoots you in the back of the head. Now we just gotta get rid of the body. It ain't like that with him. You know, you're not gonna kill a guy like that. So you have to kill him like he killed Castellano. like Bruno got killed flamboyantly on the streets, high-profile type murder. So, but Gotti's mistake, I believe, this is only Gotti's downfall, was once Castellano got killed, because I know the heat that comes with it. When Bruno got killed, I had crazy heat, 24/7 surveillance. If they knew we came here, there was bugs at all the restaurants, strip clubs. Everywhere I went, they had a listening device. Gotti should have thought of the family first, knew he had all the heat, put somebody else as like a secret acting boss, and then took the heat with him somewhere else doing nothing, down to Florida, maybe going to the racetrack, like betting horses, bring him places. If he did have to meet secretly with his guys like the Genovese family did. They met at 3 o'clock in the morning. They didn't go to, places where it was easily to surveil. They met at different times. Gotti led them all to the slaughterhouse, made his captains come to the Ravenite, made his guys come and, show up at, when he knew that the cameras were on him, the feds were taking pictures and they were trying to nail him. It was utmost. He was like the public enemy number one, and so.
But he beat the feds 3 times.
Right. Well, he beat him, but he didn't have a long run. Castellano got killed in '85, and he got indicted for the last time in 1990. And in between those 5 years, he got indicted, like you said. He beat 3 cases, and So what did he have? And he was held without bail. So in those 5 years, and it actually isn't 5 years because it was 85 of December. So he had 86, 87, 88, and 89. He had 4-year run. And out of those 4 years, he was probably in jail 1.5 years waiting trial on the cases. So really, what did he accomplish?
Understand.
And all he did was destroy his family by letting them, exposing them. If me, I didn't do that. I used to go out my back door, go through bushes, jump in cars, and to escape because I knew they were watching me that closely. I'm not gonna look to. I want us to survive. But he was a legend, and he died like he lived. He knew he was gonna do that, but he shouldn't have took down the family with him by doing that. Even though he took him down by not cooperating. What's the difference? You got a guy, you're forcing him to come, you're putting him in that conspiracy. A guy that's earning like 30, 40 million a year.
I understand. So there are a lot of guys that who would you say say state or city? Okay, so what factions did New York respect? Because there's a folklore about New York not really the mob in New York not really respecting the outside factions.
Right.
Don't show any respect. They look down on them. Like, which ones were respected?
So that's just the egos that are involved.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So you got New York. I was in prison with them all. They hate each other. Brooklyn hates the Bronx hate Manhattan, Manhattan hates Queens. So they do it to themselves too.
Yeah.
So it's just their natural way about. And then if you're not in New York, obviously the biggest families are from New York, so strength in numbers.
Yeah.
But you could not say that the Patriarca family. It's a smaller family, but Raymond Patriarca was a legendary boss. He was on the commission. Angelo Bruno back in the days. Not now with that piece of Joey Molino, but I'm going back when Angelo Bruno's there. He was on the commission. They respected that back then. They don't respect themselves today because they don't like each other.
But why do you throw shots at people? I don't even
Because Joey's a scum. Joey comes out and calls people rats and this and that, and he's doing the same exact thing. He got out of the life. He's doing podcasts. He's doing things like that, and he broke the same rule. You're not supposed to be out. You don't quit the mob. How's he go from quitting the mob? And then now he's doing podcasts. You don't go about he broke that rule. So and then he's chased. He's not considered a mafia guy. He has no clout whatsoever in the mafia.
Anthony, come on.
I swear, anybody.
Anthony,
You ask anybody that.
It's not that, Anthony. But what you're saying is that. Don't move your hand, man.
No.
Come on, man. No, I'm joking. with you. And you're saying that you're being semantic-y. Let me tell you what I mean.
Right.
Because you're saying that he's a scumbag because he's calling people rats. but he's doing the same thing. But if he didn't tell, he's just doing podcasts. So your semantics would be following the mafia's thing, which you said that earlier today that, like some guys follow it, some guys don't. So do you think that it's more that he insulted you or insulting you or insulted people around you, or you really feel that way? Because if he stood tall for whatever he did, I don't know if he did. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
And he's just doing a podcast.
Right.
Why do we look at him bad? Is it because he's
so-
insulting people?
No, it's got nothing to do with it. I could care less than him. He thinks people talk about him. He talks about everybody, and then he says, "Oh, that's all they do is talk about me." Nobody even talks about this guy. Nobody brings him up. He brings you up, and then when you respond back, "Oh, he's talking about me again. He's a fucking scumbag." Michael Francesi in the '80s was a Colombo guy. His father was the most notorious gangster, right, in the life.
I heard about that. I heard about his father.
Michael walked away from the life. His own father put a contract to kill him, because he walked away from the life. You can't quit the mob. All right, so Joey walked away from the life. Then the low life called Sonny Francesi, who's a legend. He called Sonny Francesi, he's a rat like his son. Really? Sonny Francesi, who did 50 years in prison, right? The most stand-up guy that you could ask in that life. And he says, he welcomed his son back into his life. It's his son, Michael. And he says, so he's no good just like his son. All right, so if that's the case, Bruno, the guy that we killed, our area, Bruno.
Yeah, I know.
Cooperated. Genovese family ordered him dead, right? You heard my story. The bosses in New York ordered him dead. Well, Bruno's got a son, so Joey hangs around with Bruno's son. So isn't that the same thing? Why are you hanging around with Bruno's son? Bruno cooperated. Why is it okay for you to hang around and have Bruno's son driving you around and doing all that? But Francesi's son, that he welcomed back into his life, now Francesi's no good. So you're no good by your own words.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So how you can't have it one way and not the other.
But that's based off of. But so
I'm not saying he testified.
No, I
against
get
anyone.
what
I'm
you're
not
saying. But when you use the word, because you have a way of talking about people. When I see you, like, man, you don't.
Because I don't like that guy. I could go on and on with other stories.
I got you.
about
Okay.
him.
Fair enough.
Like,
And I don't want to really open that door because I don't really know. But what I was saying is that that's something that I noticed that you do. So when I asked you, it's like, well, the guy that he called the rat, Sonny, right? He said Sonny is
The legendary Buck, right?
Sonny never told on anyone.
No.
So then
Because he befriended his own son, that he actually put a contract out, a hit, to kill his own son. Because his son walked away from the life.
So do you not respect somebody that choose to walk away from the
No, I
life?
respect everybody. Like even Gotti Jr., I respect because, that was like a notorious father, John Gotti Sr. And so he had a lot on him. And so, I respect anybody, listen, anybody can tell you that they don't put their family first, their own immediate family. I respect anybody that does that. And that's what he did by quitting the mob. And, he faced backlash for that.
John Gotti
Junior.
Junior,
He faced backlash. But he had 5 kids. And, I commend that.
Got it.
It's hard. It's especially with a father figure like he had. It's a hard decision to do that. But at the end, I look back and I said, "What was I brainwashed? Like, what was the hard decision about? I get to have my children's life, be back in their life. I get my freedom. I'm not living in a room the size of a bathroom with another man the rest of my life. I don't have to worry about getting shanked or shanking someone else, stabbing somebody else, and doing all that stuff. What was the hard decision I look back at? And especially, like I said, your own best friend is the one that's going to kill you in our life. You have no friends. It's not like, the movies portray it, or like this brotherhood that we had. And if you can kill your best friend in that life, supposedly, then what would be the difference of getting your freedom back and cooperating against them?
What do you do now?
So now I am starting my own podcast as well. I just started back in at Money Mayhem and the Mafia. And I got social media. I'm doing a lot of, I did a lot of podcasts. I did Vlad twice, Off White Underbelly, all the
Shout out to them,
top ones, yeah. So I got my own wine business. Real estate. We're looking to acquire properties that can have wedding venues there. I have friends now that are quality friends. I still don't trust people in life. the legitimate world is just as treacherous. Only they don't kill each other. It's the guy that goes to work every day. That's a hard life. He's got to get up, go through traffic, get to work. He's got to deal with his colleagues, people, his boss, giving him orders. He's got co-workers trying to get his job, get him fired. It's a treacherous. The world in itself is a treacherous world, and it's a dangerous. It's just a back way of life. So, but I have a good quality of people around me now.
Got it.
And my base that I'm networking with is growing, and I don't condone any of the life I did. Like I said, going back to the violence, I wish it didn't happen, the murders.
Got it.
And I wish I never had to cooperate and go out that route. Like if I could have got 10, 15, 20 years, and when I beat the case in 07, it was a 20-year sentence, mandatory I was going to get. We went to trial and won. So I was going to get 20 years for that case. It wasn't a death penalty case, so it wasn't a case that I was going to die in prison. But, I wish I didn't have to go that route. And I wish, even though I want to be friends with them if they're out here, because I want to be able to trust them, but I wish they cooperated too. They have kids. Listen, here's the deal. Ask their kids if they wish their father made the same decision that I made. And I already know the answer. So any kid that would tell you, oh, I'm happy my dad's doing life, and he didn't cooperate, no, their kids ain't saying that.
How are your children right now?
Good. My son lives with me. My daughter's like 10 minutes away. I'm in contact with them. I have no issues with anyone. That life, I created enemies, but it goes both ways. They created me as an enemy.
Do you still speak to your? Are you divorced?
I'm divorced, but I speak with my ex, my kids, yeah.
And what about your girlfriend?
My girlfriend's my best friend, yeah.
You guys still together or no?
We're not together like that. We might be. So it's like we're close. And it's just what happened was I had to come home. So she moved down to New Jersey, did 5 years. I got sentenced to 8.5. So I had to do another 3 years. So she had to move back. So those 3 years, by the time I come back, I'm coming back to my area. And dude, listen, if you talk to guys that are coming home from prison, after doing 8.5 years, it's a shell shock to begin with. Never mind me, I was coming home, no more a mafia boss. I'm not coming home to a party with 200 people there. I'm not getting envelopes when I come home. I gotta come home to, my family that's in disarray, and if I didn't come home, I saved my mother, my sister, and my son by coming home. It's my house now. I saved the house. I saved my sister, from, all kinds of issues. My son, and now we have like a structure. I brought back structure to my family, and so there's still going to be issues and things like this and that, but I got no complaints. Like I wake up, I'm at peace.
Do you have nightmares?
No. I you know what I do have? I have PTSD. I never knew I had it, but because every day I woke up, I was, are the feds going to be here to arrest me? If I see, like the other day, I had a guy and a girl parked in front of my house. I was on my way to a, Chaz Palminteri event with Chaz, and I see a car, 2 cars, a guy and a girl, and I'm parking, and they're standing outside the car. I'm thinking, feds, something going on here, It's just, I get that type of, because I've been arrested so many times in my life that, I just don't want to ever see prison again. I'm done with prison. I think, when you're young and you're about that, you put your little time in, or you come out, but when you get older, you got kids. So you didn't ask me one thing before we forget. The kid Emilio Frisco didn't cooperate. Remember I told you to ask me about him? Mm-hmm. He didn't cooperate. He went to trial. He beat the 2 murders. So he still got 25 years. So he's a made guy, right? He didn't cooperate. Mm-hmm. Goes to jail, right? You think like, oh, he did it. Well, what did he gain by it? They stole all his money on the street, took all of his rackets, took it off from him. His wife left him. She's been, with they're divorced. One of his sons got shot in a drug deal, selling, his other son tried to rob a store and got arrested. Just recently, they're on drugs on top of it. If he was home, they would have never been on drugs. Just recently, they just got a huge arrest with like 50 guns and all kinds of drugs when they make your own guns with that printing thing.
3D printing machine.
They got arrested with that. His sons are facing big time now in prison. And not only that, the local, and there's no mob here. When I say there's no mob here, there's guys that, one guy walks around and says he's a made guy. He's not. He died 15 times at an RPM and bring him back to life. He's not a made guy. But he tells people he's a made guy. When I was made, I never told a soul that I was a made guy. So there is no mob, but those still lowlifes took his money that he was on the streets that he had coming in, and they took that earning power from him. And never, where's the guys going around shooting the guys that shot his son? Where's the guys going around bringing his wife and family envelopes? Where's the guys that are, instead of taking his money, giving him money? Mm-hmm. So what did he gain by being stand up and doing that? He lost everything.
Last question: do you wish you would have worked it out with your wife?
I would have definitely worked it. We would have never been split. In fact, that was never going to happen. But the way she caught me, it was just too much for her to absorb. She's been bothering me about a girl she thought I was with 20 years when we got married in the past. And she never let that go for 20 years. She would always, dig that. So of course, she's the mother of my kids. I would have never left her, but I still would have kept my girlfriend 100%. So that was never.
So you would have never left. You would have still been married, but you were not leaving your girl.
No, absolutely not. Me and her were too close. She's still like the closest person to me. So I would have never.
But then, how does that make your wife feel hearing that?
Well, I wasn't going to tell her that, but
you basically did.
She was never supposed to find out about my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So,
man.
She found out, so it was like, it wasn't planned that she was supposed to find out.
Yeah.
It was just like everything bad happened. Get hit with a death penalty case.
Yeah.
Then, you find out all these people are testifying against you. And then the day your father died 3 years ago, now your wife catches you with your girl. And not just it's the same as like if she walked into the room in our bedroom and caught me in bed with the girl. That's how she caught me. I mean, it's the same the way, And so, I wish for the family structure with my kids. But my kid, listen, my only fear when I did this is that my kids were going to be around and grow up good. And that's the only thing that, like people said, my wife met another guy and thank God they live in a wealthy area. My kids went to the best schools. They were well taken care of. And that's all I cared about. People say, are you mad at the guy? I go,
were you mad at the guy?
No. It's like, I would, you're going to come home and hurt the guy. Listen, I'm going to hurt someone that tries to hurt the guy. That guy took care of my kids.
Got it.
For all those years. And that's the only fear I had was that don't forget, my little girls were 5 and 6 years old.
True, of course.
So it's like, that's, daddy's little girls. I mean, there's no closer bond than the father with their daughters. And I was close with the girls. So, you do good. You ask good questions.
I appreciate that, man. It's very interesting. Great story. And I appreciate your honesty, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate your honesty and your transparency. I mean, I'm not here to glorify or condone anything, but I just wanted to hear the stories. Queenzflip, man. I'm here, Springfield, Mass. And dope interview. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Make sure you what's the name of your podcast?
Money, Mayhem, and the Mafia. Anthony Arillotta. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, and I have the South End Syndicate book I wrote. That's another thing. South End Syndicate.
That's about the old gangsters.
That's right? About Connecticut, Western Mass. That I want the story out there. I didn't write the book for me. I wrote it to put us on the map because you never hear about this area. It's a notorious area. And I have the Pots of Wine, the best wine out there. It is really.
So make sure you like, subscribe, and we see you soon. Queens.